2023 wasn't a good year for the Carolina Panthers, but I'm trying to make 2024 a better one for myself. Get started on your resolutions with Factor so you're ready for the new year. Factor's ready-to-eat meal delivery takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for success in the new year. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door. With over 35 meals to choose from per week, including keto options, calorie smart, vegan plus veggie, and more, plus over 55 weekly add-ons, you'll have a ton of nutritious and flavorful options to kickstart your resolutions. Skip that overpriced takeout trap. Factor is cheaper and way more delicious than takeout. Get chef-crafted, restaurant-quality meals delivered right to your door, and they're ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes, which means more time for you. Head to factormeals.com/C350 and use the promo code C350 to get 50% off. That's code C350 at factormeals.com/C350 to get 50% off.
Tony Dunn, ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
In a world where Carolina Panthers fans have an insatiable thirst for Panthers news and opinions, only one podcast roars ferociously. It's the C3 Panthers Podcast.
What's the deal? Oh, wow. What's the deal, Panther fans? It's the most wonderful time of the year. That's right. Football's back, baby. Football's back, and the C3 Panthers podcast hasn't gone anywhere. We're in our 10th season, the longest running Panthers podcast every Tuesday night, 9 p.m., where we chop up the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. Tonight's show, Baker Mayfield battles the Browns in the Panthers home opener, and Sunday, the Carolina Panthers take the field against the Cleveland Browns in their home opener, and a chance for redemption, a chance for or something. Everybody's got to prove something, as my wheelman Cody Lashney says, and we got to prove something. We got to prove that the C3 Panthers podcast don't quit. And we already proved it. We'll be here Sunday after the game with the post show, and guess who we'll hang out with? The coolest fans in all of YouTube, just like I'm cool hanging out with some of my favorite people. What is up, Cody Lashney? How you doing?
Tony Dunn, listen, there's nowhere I'd rather be on a Tuesday night than sitting here with my boys, hanging, chilling, talking Panther football. And, man, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, man. We always do. One, what in the hell is going on with Davyion Nixon? Did Will Kunkel, was he fair in his reporting of this whole deal? So much to get into. Are you excited about the season? And we're going to be introducing something tonight that is going to change the formation of the C3 Panthers podcast and the Friday free-for-all going forward. Tony, the fact of the matter is we have a huge show. And like you already said, we're going to do it with the very best Panther fans in all of YouTube. You already know him and love him. It's our man Drew, Anthony Price, Craig Cartner, D'Angelo the Legend, Jay Prey, JD864, Joey the Blind Panther Esquivel, Leo Factor, Making Money TMG, Padawan Panther, Marcus78, Panther Pickle, Sideshow Rob, Tim Estes, and 10 Tizzy, Tony Dunn. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, brother. Let's roll.
There's so much stuff going on right here. Not only do we have some big groundbreaking, some opportunities for all of us to make some coin. I'm talking about the listeners making some coin along with us in this show. Yeah. We're doing a fantasy football draft. The C3 Listener League draft is going on right now. We got that going on. We're sitting here trying to build the show in the background. We got people joining the C3 Superfan membership every day. In fact, I checked earlier today, we were at 49 members. So all you got to do is hit that join button and be a part, kind of show your loyalty. You see the people in there with the green tags, right? Gets the special emojis. And this week to kick it off, in celebration of all of, I guess, the support and love that we've gotten, I'm going to be giving away this Panther hat right here, right, to one of the members. 50 members. If we hit 50, we're going to randomly draw it over the next couple of days. I mean, and I'll hit the rando. I'll message you guys. Hopefully what we'll do is we'll come on the post game and tell you who got it. Look at the bottom of this sucker. Bow.
Nice.
Right. And if you don't like the flat
Fire.
bill hat, you can get a t-shirt instead if that's something you'd like.
You
You guys can check that out. And the way you can be, we'll continue to do giveaways. We won't do it every time, but like when I mean, this is some of the perks of supporting the C3 Panthers podcast is that you get cool stuff like that. One of the perks is you get the sweet, sultry, sexy voice of CK in the house. In fact, you even got a new member to give a shout out in your own shout out.
Right on time. First and foremost, welcome Joshua Hall into the C3 Superfan Club. Second, it's football week, baby. It is the week that we can all say we've been looking forward to all off season. Everything's looking up, Code Dizzle, because right now I passed my small unmanned air systems exam, so I'm licensed drone pilot now for commercial purposes.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
So, and then we got football, man. It's just, everything's working now, man.
I love it, man.
Hell yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Okay, commercial, what is that? So now you get to sell your services in the drone industry?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
need to
So
pick
like,
I need to pick a player too, by the way.
Yeah, it's on you. I was about to tell you.
yeah. Basically, right now I can do like real estate photography and use my drone to do that. I can use it to survey stuff. I can just honestly take pictures and videos and sell them as stock photos and videos, similar to what Greg has been, adding to some of our intros and whatnot. I could sell that stuff and have an income that way. But yeah, a couple of different things that can be done with it.
Awesome,
but
man.
yeah, it's I'm pretty stoked.
That's awesome, dude.
That is awesome. Congratulations. Just like congratulations to me for getting Kenny Galladay.
Oh,
I
sneaker.
think I got him. All right, we got Greg, the Bat Daddy, the Stat Daddy in the house. And man, now you're going to have some statistics to talk about on these shows. We actually got football coming back.
Finally. I know this is the best week of the year, man. I love basketball. I love hockey. I love all sports basically, but football is where it's at, man. And this is my favorite thing. And this week, opening week is the best week. I've got the weekend off too, which is fantastic. So it's going to be really fun. And you're right. I got actual stats to talk about, and I can't wait to see who's going to be eating crow this year.
Yeah. We're gonna have to do a lot. We got a lot. I mean, we got to pick the winner of this week. We're going to preview this game. We've got to talk about it was Davyion Nixon, how Davyion Nixon was on the outs. Will Crunkle saying, I mean, really a very heavy-handed report that came out after news broke that Davyion Nixon was being released, and some people were surprised by that. Other people thought McCall had won the job and different things. But then the report came out that Will Kunkel said that someone within the team said that they didn't think he was NFL caliber player, which is interesting because he was a fan favorite, and I think a lot of people were excited about it. So we've got that to talk about. The ping pong champions of the world. There's some competition in the locker room, and one of the things that they put, there's a barber chair in the locker room, reports now, a ping pong table. We've heard a lot of ping ponging going around, so we've got that, and we got one more member to shout out. CK, DJ Fish Nipples, hit him up.
DJ Fish Nipples, I want to be the first to welcome you into the C3 Superfan Club. Thank you for joining an elite group of people pushing us over top of that 50 mark. Welcome to the C3 Superfan Club.
The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. We're going to be unleashing the post-game show, and we got some new changes coming up to the post-game. I think what we're going to try to do is this, and I really have dropped the ball on the Patreon part. We're going to have to really ramp that up and announce it on Sunday. We're going to probably one of the things I want to do is limit people's calls. 1 call per show is what we're going, unless you're going to be
with post game.
Yeah, with the post game show, we're going to move to a 1 call per person model, just so it doesn't go 800 hours, and so we can get people's opinions through in a timely and respectable way. We'll also be unleashing kind of a Patreon account where you can get an expedited number. If you're a patron, you get your calls played first, and if you're a patron, you can do multiple calls, as in we'll give you maybe say 3 a week. So that would be one of the benefits of being a patron there. So this Sunday, look forward to that. We'll talk about it Friday on the Friday Free For All. Come on and give you guys some more information. But we've been so busy with this super fan and all of this. And I just want to bring this up too, guys. Don't forget, tonight's show is brought to you by Manscaped, right? Manscaped is the leader in below the waist men's grooming. There's over 12 million balls manicured by Manscaped across the country. And one of the things, if you go to manscaped.com, you get free shipping, worldwide shipping, right? Not global, universal, whatever the term is for outside the United States, inside the United States, free shipping. And if you use the code Panthers, use the code Panthers, and you get 20% off and free shipping. You can get cool stuff like your Manscaped Weed Whacker to take care of your nose and your ear game. You can get this sweet ass men's grooming bag, which is my favorite thing out of all of the kits. And you can get the Lawnmower 4.0 to prevent grandpa's balls from being nicked, prevent your balls from being nicked. It's the safest grooming system out there you can imagine. Great products. Go to manscaped.com. That's manscaped.com and use the promo code Panthers, and you get 20% off plus free shipping. So thanks to Manscaped, if we get a certain amount of people that are using that code in this first month, they will remain a sponsor throughout the season. So guys, you can help us grow by, if you need, just like, think about this, is buy a gift for you. I got a gift for somebody you need, a gift for yourself. You want to treat yourself, go get a nice shirt, go get some of this ball deodorants, and keep yourself so that you can enjoy football all Sunday in the heat. You know, I went to the ECU football game, man. It was a heartbreaker. We lost by 1 point to NC State, man. We had the opportunity to kick the game winner, just didn't work out for us. But I tell you, it was a scorcher. But these balls right here, nice, clean, dry, because of those great products. So manscaped.com, promo code Panthers. That's pretty easy because it's your favorite team, the Panthers. Now let's go ahead and jump into the show, guys. First up, Davyion Nixon.
Yeah.
It's kind of a surprise cut. You know, one of the things is, like, when we saw the team.
Well, did you hear the update? Did you hear the update to the story that was fairly recent?
Made it to the practice squad.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know if you knew or not.
Yeah, but we saw when the roster cuts came about, right? When we saw the roster cuts last week, when we got to the 53-man roster, we said there weren't a lot of surprises. In fact, Justin Burris was a surprise. But again, more evidence that the Carolina Panthers listen to the C3 Panthers podcast is, what did we spend a lot of time talking about? How thin we were. Yeah, at defensive end, and how we were at defensive tackle. And then even Scott Fitter comes out and goes, well, we think Davyion Nixon can play some outside and some inside. And then they said, you know what, we're going to go and get a defensive end. They go and get Henry Anderson, who was first reported as Harry Anderson by Joe Person. He said, whoops, it's Henry. Harry Anderson was the judge in night court from back in the day. But Harry Anderson was. Henry Anderson is a former defensive end for the Jets. I think he played with the Patriots. But they cut Davyion Nixon. And Cody, it was a surprise because a lot of people like him. You know, I think he had a good year last year. He's kind of like a Bravion Roy was his rookie year. You know, Bravion Roy flashed his rookie year and then kind of disappeared his second year. And then Davyion Nixon flashed his rookie year, and then I guess we were like, I guess now he really has disappeared his second year because the Panthers cut him.
Well, yeah, so this has been a really crazy story all the way around. I was one of the biggest proponents of Davyion Nixon. I mean, this guy was a fifth-round draft pick. He was someone that was the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. And he ended up falling in the draft due to off-the-field issues. But he had a really good camp last year for the Panthers. That's when you started to hear his name the most, last year during training camp time. And then a lot of us were really expecting him to have a big-time year this year. I was even hoping that you might see him play 3 tech next to Derek Brown because of his potential. So this was really a shock when the Panthers did decide to cut Davyion Nixon. Now, there's two aspects to this story that we'll get into. And we'll start with Davyion Nixon first, but then there's a larger question about Will Kunkel and how he ended up reporting this. But I do want to add to this conversation, he is indeed on the practice squad. So my question is this. Let's first start with Davyion Nixon. What do we feel happened? Is this off the field stuff, or is he just not the player that we thought he was? And do we even trust the evaluation of Matt Rule regarding Davyion Nixon? Because that's something else that's kind of been in question for a while now.
I don't trust Matt Rule's evaluation on any player. But as far as that question goes, that's the only part of it I can answer. Otherwise, I would have no speculation as to why.
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing is it's just not only a Matt Rule thing. You know,
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is certainly there's a collectivity to these decision making, but if anything, is that we have a lot of faith in Phil Snow. And Phil Snow being able to identify players that he can work with and what he can make out of it. So,
yeah,
I mean, really, is this just something that this was a name of a late round pick that did some things last year, just like Davyion Roy was the year before? It seems like every year we kind of have one of these late round defensive tackles that we think is all of a sudden going to be a rotational player, but the team just doesn't feel like they are enough. CK, is that what is? I mean, is that was a loaded room, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, honestly, obviously here get a lot of good things about McCall. That was my guess as to who was going to be cut, because we definitely felt like it was going to be defensive tackle, right? Like that was definitely on the radar.
It was such a thick room. I mean, there was just too many of them, and there was not. And you looked at that defensive end group, and I tweeted it out last week. Is you have Brian Burns on one side, you have Marquise Haynes / YGM on the other, and then you have Amari Barno, and that was it. And that's a thin room right there, particularly when you don't know much about how Haynes or YGM would work out as a starter all year.
Right.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. I don't know. I was really a fan of Davyion Nixon, and I like what some of what he showed to be capable to do. But that doesn't mean shit. I was a fan of Derek Brown, and look how that ended up turning out. Which is funny because they both ended up on the practice squad. Now I want to talk about Will Kunkel for just a minute. He works for Fox, the Charlotte affiliate here. And for a long time, the real controversial beat reporter for the Panthers has been David Newton. We've gone back and forth on David, and we've had David on the beat deck. We look forward to hopefully having him again. Hopefully we can get Will Kunkel to do one of these with us too. But a lot of people really kind of took umbrage with the way that he reported this, and I wanted to know if you guys felt similar. By the way, you're up, Tony, on the draft.
Thank you.
But a lot of people are really taking onus with the fact that he said, I am told the team thought he just didn't have the skill to play at an NFL level. Now, that seems kind of like if they really thought that, then one, why would you ever have drafted him? Like, how could your evaluation of him been so completely wrong? And then number two, why would you even why would you even put that out? Like, it just doesn't seem like if you knew that the Panthers didn't think a guy was a good football player, but then now if you put that out there about him, now that's something that is going to follow him. And maybe other people start to hear and pick up rumors that, oh, maybe he isn't a good football player. Maybe he doesn't love football player. And the truth of the matter is that we don't know the context behind it. But a lot of people were upset with how Will Kunkel reported this. Do any of you have any issues with how Will worded this and what he released?
No, not particularly, because I mean it's kind of his job to report what he thinks is out there or put it out there. I mean,
Right.
I think that if this player wants to show that he's different, then he has the ability to do that. I don't think that this completely ruins him. But I mean it's the guy's job, you know, and I look at it, it has 34 quote tweets and 99 likes, so it's not like it's blasting
Something that's
out.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, the other part too is like how much of this is they want that to be the narrative so that they can get him back on the practice squad, so that 31 other teams would pass on him.
Possibility, yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
and
I
That's a
thought
little
it was
slide, but yeah.
strange. I would say this is I thought this was strange. First is Will Kunkel has been a beat reporter around here for a while. Like it's like we've heard his name in the press conference before. And I don't say he has I wouldn't have thought he has a history of either sensationalism or trying to overly speak on an issue. Like I don't remember. And by the way, I still want to tell Panther fans that I think y'all are too hard on David Newton. Like, and I think at this point, like anytime some reporter does something they don't like, they go, "Must be David Newton." This time is like, so you have a lot of people probably saying, "I can't believe this was a David Newton," probably in this.
Yeah.
But I think that I just felt like this was odd. That's like a heavy-handed thing to say. Now, do we think that this guy just fabricated this? Right? I thought that I'm surprised he didn't kind of maybe soften the delivery of that message, right? Like I'm surprised that he didn't say, well, you know, Panthers had questions about his ability at this level or something like that or something, you know what I mean? Like it was kind of a heavy-handed thing to say, we don't think he has the talent to play in the NFL, particularly when you drafted him to play in the NFL. He literally played in the NFL last year. Like, I just felt like it was kind of a bizarre thing, almost to where it was like, did his account get hacked? But he hasn't walked it back at all. Do you think he just fabricated this completely?
No way.
I just don't know if he is that unreliable to where he would have taken such a loose sourcing and came so strong and heavy with it, man. That's really surprising to me for anybody, really, on this beat, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, there's no benefit to him lying about it. I mean, I can't think of one. You know, and like you said, it does seem like something that's really difficult to put your neck out there for with not as much to back it up. So I can't think that he's lying about it. It makes you wonder why there's not more detail behind. But I guess he can't put people's business out there.
And then the other question would be this is, what would the benefit of the Panthers? Was this somebody who was speaking a little out of turn, you know what I'm saying, within the organization? Or maybe was this calculated on their part? Were they themselves kind of engaging in their own smear campaign? And then the strange part about that is, why pick him up and put him on the practice squad if that's the case? So
I think, I think it's proven that these guys do like this. Like they'll talk about people's character and stuff to try to get a better deal on a contract, or to like they'll up talk somebody to try to get a trade value for them. I mean, it's not abnormal for them to think like, you know, we want this guy to come back to the practice squad. So let's see if we can get him to clear the 31 other teams and you know, waivers. It sucks because like it's that dude's livelihood, but at the same time, I mean, it's not abnormal for them to do stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just this quote right when he just said, "I am told the team thought he just didn't have the skill to play at the NFL level." It's like, geez, Louise.
Yeah, which is so dumb considering he has flashed multiple times. And he has looked good in games and in practice. And again, the other thing too, and Panther Pickle had put this in our free for all chat, is that someone on WFNZ hinted that maybe it was some off the field issues. And again, it's like we can't really even speculate on that because we just don't know. We don't know what the Panthers know. But if that was it, it would be weird to say that it was because of a perceived skill level deficiency rather than him being the type of player that you want on the football field. So I
Right.
don't know, man. That's just really weird to me. It doesn't make a ton
Yeah, I
of
think he's
sense.
getting fed some bad intel. One would be my guess, and he probably wishes like he didn't write this. I would hope. Second is, I think the real reason for this is just that there's too much. There's not enough depth
Buddy,
at
you're up.
defensive end.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that really is the cut came because we needed a defensive end. It seemed less to do with Davyion Nixon and just that maybe, except for the McCall. A lot of people just said McCall played his way in, and that would be wild. If I mean, that's kind of wild that that's the case. I didn't even know who this McCall guy was before 2 weeks ago. So it's just interesting. We'll have to kind of follow it. I'd love to see the Panthers. I mean, like, is that if you're Will Kunkel, you got the opportunity to ask the coach about this. I'd like to see somebody else ask Will Kunkel about this, and I don't know. And is this a smokescreen to just keep him around? I don't know. Interesting stuff.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, what comes of this, man. Again, it's just tough, man. I feel like every time we get excited about a player that like was a late round draft pick or whatever, we end up getting stuff like this that happens. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. It'll be definitely interesting to follow, kind of which way it goes, but. And someone else pointed out something too. This is from Panther Blue. He said, we're not ignoring, I promise. Nixon is coming off of a season-ending knee injury, so very likely the team feels he needs more time to get up to speed. Again, maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. It's something to consider. But again, we really just have no way of knowing. We don't know what the Panthers do and don't know about them. So I mean, it'll be interesting to follow going forward. This defensive line is really one of the biggest question marks I feel like we have. Losing Hassan Reddick, we're still wondering what kind of drop off our pass rush is and isn't going to take. So if you have these really strong passers on the inside or on the outside, those guys are at a premium for us right now just because we don't have that surefire guy that we know we're going to be able to replicate Hassan Reddick's numbers with. So it's I don't know. It's an interesting decision. And like I said, I don't trust a lot of Matt Rule's judgment calls. He has final say so on all roster decisions. So I don't know, man. Time will tell.
Do you think that's still true? Do you think that's something that came out in the beginning, and after the first 2 years, they were like, "Okay, guy, you got to give some of this up," and he gave it up?
You're up,
Man,
Tony. Final pick. Yeah, go ahead.
I just can't see that being true anymore. Like how long do you let this guy, or unless you're just going to let him try to bury himself, even though I feel like we're going to be pretty good this year, but by no fault of his own. Like you didn't plan to be here and where you're at right now 3 years ago. So if we're successful, I don't feel like it's because of his plan.
Yeah.
So like how much of the do you think they give him? Like how much of a leash does he have? I know it said he has final say on all personnel, but does he really now?
I think that when it comes to Matt Rule having a final say, I believe he is listening to people around him. I believe that's why he brought in the coaches that he did. And I do believe he has a very close relationship with Scott Fitterer. I think that they do work in tandem in a lot of things that they do.
Can I ask you then, because I think that it's an important conversation to have. I've brought it up before as well. Is it also fair to say that you have to give Matt Rule credit for the move? If you believe that this is if Matt Rule makes all these decisions, you have to praise him for the ones you agree with, right?
Yeah, I mean, so LaVisca Chenault was someone apparently that Matt Rule and Marty Herney had done a lot of work on, and they both really liked him at the time. So, yeah, there is a little bit of that. I think even C.J. Henderson too. I think that Matt Rule played a part in that. Yeah, I'm not going to take that away from him. I think that he's the guy who signs off on everything when a collective decision is made. So it's like everybody has input on the decision. And then at the end, Matt Rule the final call on all of those things. But if he has Scott Fitterer and all of his coaches telling him that they've made good moves, then I think that that's when he feels comfortable signing off on them. So, yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Okay. Fair enough.
You're muted, Tony.
We'll be following the Davyion Nixon news. And in fact, that's probably been that's the headline, him and the Henry Anderson guy. Other than that, the only real news kind of coming across the ticker in some ways is or to talk about is that the Carolina Panthers have finally let the reporters back in the locker room. And one of the things that we get is that the reporters really like this because now they get to see some of the soft things. That's weird. Manscaped brought to you by soft things and hard things.
I imagine after you've played football for a few hours, it's a soft thing. But that's just my guess.
But it's kind of like people's demeanor, who wants to talk, who's joking around, those types of things. Is that not everything that was so choreographed by them doing these Zooms, and the team had so much control. But one of the things that we saw is so that they got their first look inside the locker room and ping pong table. We've heard Matt Rule say ping pong all over. They've been talking about this, and there's a barber chair. And then I saw this is that Brian Burns came out and said that Christian McCaffrey is the clear leader, the best player, ping pong player on the team. And then who's our Hecker? What's his name?
Yeah,
Johnny Hecker.
Johnny Hecker.
Yeah, Johnny Hecker came out and took a little offense. I think he thinks that he can give Christian McCaffrey a run for his money. So some cool stuff going on there. Was like we'll continue to get to see that. And man, I guess some of the player interviews is Robbie Anderson, Robbie IE, not Robbie Y, was at the podium. And you know what? I thought he did pretty well. I think he's ready to play. He's go out there and ball. Is like it's kind of just Robbie being Robbie. So football is here, dude. And this week, we've got a game on Sunday. You guys better be here. Boy,
you got a game on
Sunday.
Thursday.
Y'all better be here for the post game. Just like you're smashing that thumbs up button right now, just like you're subscribing and being part of the conversation. You know it's going to be lit directly after the game. Usually that's about a 4:30 start time for the post game on a 1:00 kickoff, and it is going to be fun. And you know what else? We've got some news to break, guys. Big things happening. I got to say this is we've got a season-long sponsor, Prize Picks. Good Lord, let's see if we can expand this window a little bit. Why are we all funky? Why is this funky town?
What do you mean?
It looked so cool before in our other layout. Well, I don't know. There we go. That's what I'm looking for, right?
It's when I had the comments up.
Oh, okay. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy sports play system, right? Where you can make money. And we're going to show it to you, and we're going to preview the game today. We're going to make some entries. In fact, I turned $20 into $60 in this past week in college football in just 2 picks. So what you're going to do is this, and I'll just give you guys a little rundown, is this. First, if you go and download the Prize Pick app or go onto the website and use the code C3, you get 100% deposit bonus. And you know that daily fantasy sports are legal in over 30 states across the country, North and South Carolina being those. And you can go and take your money and use your skill and your understanding of the game to make money. I'm telling you, Prize Picks is the way to go. These player projections, man, I'm going to show you guys right now. We're going to play the game. We're going to win right now. In fact, there's one cool thing. If you go sign up this week, I'll give you a little share my screen right here. They're giving you a free play. They are giving you a free play. And here we go. Let's see. All right. So the way this works.
Well, I can just add one thing before we jump on here, Tony.
Yeah.
This is to be a part of, like, it's not just a sponsor, y'all. This is how it's going to be a part of how we're going to break down the matchups each week. Because as you see what Tony's about to explain to you, there's a lot of really good picks on all things related to the Panthers and the opponents that we're going to be, taking a look at too. This will be for the Tuesday shows and the Friday free-for-all show. So you're going to be able to have input in all of these as we do them every Tuesday and Friday. Go ahead, Tony.
So the way this works is they have every sport you could possibly imagine, from NFL, college football, to even gaming and tennis and season long. So what you do is you make an entry. You have to pick a minimum of 2 players. You can pick up to 5 entries. And if you get these entries correct, then it's like the more you have, the more compound your winnings are. So for instance, this past week, what I did is when I played on college football Saturday, I identified 2 players. One was Holton Ahlers, the East Carolina football, the quarterback, and they wanted to know what my entry was, that he would have more than 15.5 rushing yards. And then the other entry I put in was the Georgia running back, that he would have over 22.5 receiving yards. I was both right on my entries, so I took $20 and I turned it into $60. If I would have done 3 entries, you could take $20 and win $100. And if you can get up to, so we'll see how this all works. This is a great week to go to Prize Pick and use that promo code C3. 2 reasons. One, you get 100% sign up bonus up to $100. So you put $50 down, they're going to match you with $50. You put $100 down and use that C3 promo code, and make sure you use that C3 because they want to know that you came from us, right? They're going to give you $100. On top of that, they're giving you a free entry this week. You see Tom Brady, all he has to do is go over or more than, he has to get 1 passing yard. If he gets 1 passing yard, you already got 1 entry. So look, we're going to go ahead. We select Tom Brady right here. We're going to hit more. Boom. Right? We got that. But now we're going to use this to look at the Panthers game versus the Browns. And more projection, more players will be added as the week goes on.
Yes.
Right. So as Friday, when we get to the Friday free-for-all show, you guys are probably going to be looking at defensive players and some other potential entries and opportunities there. But right now is we have to find at least 1 more entry that we believe in. And right now, I'll read these off to you guys, is the number of passing yards for Baker Mayfield is 218.5. So do we think he could, this is one. So we could say, we think he's going to have over 219, or we don't think he's going to get that. We could have combined passing and rushing yards, 230.5, pass completions, 19.5, pass attempts, 30.5, interceptions. If he has, do we think he's going to have 1 or less interceptions?
More or less.
More or less. And then we can go down here and look at Christian McCaffrey. So right now, the 3 player options for the Panthers are all Baker Mayfield, Christian McCaffrey, 65.5 rushing yards, 45.5 receiving yards, 5 receptions, or DJ Moore, 61.5. I'm interested to see what the chat likes on these. We need one more player projection right here, guys. Or one
So
more entry.
let's go through this, right? Tony and I were talking about this earlier. Go to that Christian McCaffrey. I was saying that 5 receptions, that more than 5 receptions, that wouldn't even surprise me. Like it really wouldn't. Like knowing how important Christian McCaffrey is going to be to Baker Mayfield and those short to underneath, man, it's like that seems easy to me. Him, getting 5 receptions. But however, another one that a lot of people think could be even easier than that is Christian McCaffrey is at 65.5 rushing yards. That's another one that's really easy to take more if you pick that. The question is, what do you think is more likely? So Tony, are we just doing 2? Or we're not doing 4? We're just doing 2.
We can do this. We can really try to use this Tom Brady free play to make money right here, because we like, if we get 2 right, we take $20 and we turn it into 60. Watch this though. Say we were able to do this. Say we hit on that Brady, we hit on Christian McCaffrey, and somebody said 65.5 was easy money on rushing yards. Say we did this and we hit more. You take $20 and make it into 100.
That's awesome, y'all. Dude,
that is pretty awesome. Yeah.
Watch this one. Boom. We do one more. You do this to 4.
So you don't have to pay more money to make more picks.
No, you can, like, in fact, we can change this money entry down to $5 if we wanted,
Okay.
And so, but think of it as this is $20 on 4 picks. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you got 4 right, you get 10 times your money.
Can I make a suggestion for one of the ones if y'all want to pick? Because I like the stuff that Cody was saying there. But here's the thing: 65 rushing yards a game is like 1,000 or 1,100 yards a season. That's right at what Christian McCaffrey gets. So there's a chance that he get less than that a game. He may have more, but there's a chance he get less than that a game. I'm willing to bet DJ Moore is going to be guaranteed to get at least 61 yards or the 61, because if Baker Mayfield throws for 220, 61's what, a third of that, almost a fourth of the, a little over a third of that. Like, we're looking at, I think DJ Moore would catch a third of those passes or be at least a third of that 218 yards. And I think 218 is very possible. The problem is all these are very, very possible.
That's the thing. Well, that's why, look, these first days, they didn't invent daily fantasy sports overnight, right? These probably got some experts on this. Somebody brought this up. Are you playing this in North Carolina? Yes, we are, because daily fantasy sports is legal in North Carolina. This is not gambling, but this is real money. And thank you, North Carolina, for legalizing daily fantasy sports. Prize Pick, I'm telling you, this is the site that is about to take off, and y'all need to get up here this weekend and take advantage of this free play. Tom Brady, we got to make some money here.
What's the code again?
Let's do it, man. C3.
The code is
Just
C3. Go to Prize Picks, deposit up to $100. They match you up to $100. Use that. But we're going to be doing this all season, each and every week. So
yes, this is a part of our show now on Tuesday and Friday.
So let's talk about this in the context of the matchup, right? Before we go in and we make any of these picks, the Carolina Panthers are hosting the Browns, right? Right now, we know this. Deshaun Watson is going to be out because of suspension. Jacoby, in fact, we can look at the players, what they are thinking, the players on maybe we can get some sense here of what the Browns could be doing. Right now is Jacoby Brissett is the starting quarterback right now. They're thinking he's around the 190-yard mark for passing yards against us. Let's see. Nick Chubb, they think Nick Chubb is going to have a bigger day on the ground than Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
You're really thinking this is He's getting, what is that? What is 70 divided by 15.5? I wonder what yards per carry this is. 70.5 divided by 15.5. They're talking about 4.5 yards on the ground per carry for Nick Chubb if those numbers worked out. Look at that. Nick Chubb only, they don't believe he's going to be catching the ball very much. And really, what do you guys think that this game is going? Look, Amari Cooper, they are at him at 48.5 receiving yards. Njoku, 35.5 receiving yards. What do we really think while we look at these numbers, what the Carolina Panthers are facing with the Cleveland Browns without Deshaun Watson? We know that they have a team that is very talented on defense. We've heard that this is a team that really Baker Mayfield, they believe, was holding him back and that a lot of his success was coming with the run. I'm sitting here going, man, if I'm the Carolina Panthers, I'm trying to make the Browns beat us with Jacoby Brissett, right? Like I'm taking away Nick Chubb and I'm trying to take away Nick Chubb and what's his name, Kareem Hunt. What do you guys think here about this matchup and how this game is going to put down? I mean, or play out.
I think that's exactly the game plan they have to go with because honestly, you've got two starting running backs with Chubb and Hunt. Like we have not been great on stopping the run in the last few years. But I feel like at this point right now, if you're going to win this game right here, it's got to be Jacoby Brissett that does it. Because I don't think they can beat us with Jacoby Brissett and the receiving core they have. But I do think they could run all over us. I've seen teams have 200 rushing yards on us easy and beat us that way. So the focus has got to be stopping the run game. And honestly, solely that. And I feel like I'm talking trash about Jacoby Brissett by saying that. But I feel like our secondary is okay. No matter what Jacoby Brissett throws at us with what's their best receiver, Amari Cooper and Njoku. Those are their best receivers. I feel is Jarvis Landry still a Brown?
No, he's a Saint.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think they can beat us in their passing game. It has to be stopping the run game, and I think if we stop the run game, we can win this game easily.
Dude, I'm telling you that Baker 8.5 rush yards is easy money right there.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, if he gets sacked,
easy money, dude.
But he could have a 20-yard rush and get sacked for 12, and you're out.
Well, also keep in mind he's the type of quarterback. Keep in mind that he's the type of quarterback. I see what CK is saying. He's not going to have designed runs. So if everyone's in man coverage and there's a gap for him to take off and pick up a first down, then he could easily hit that in one play.
Also, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, sacks don't count. Like if he just gets sacked,
they kind of get your rushing yards.
I don't recall that ever being a thing.
I know you're rushing or you're passing yards, but you definitely lose yards as a quarterback.
I know you lose yards, but the only time that I've ever seen, or at least I feel like I'm thinking about this right, is if it's a designed quarterback run, because those don't count as sacks anyway.
Right, or like if you kneel down. I know that they take away yards.
Sacks
I know
go against your passing
college,
yards, not your rushing.
Okay.
Oh, they do? They go against.
I know it went against one of them. So design runs go against your rushing, sacks go against your passing.
Let's see this. Is that last year in his home opener, he only had one attempt for 7 yards. Dude, he only that's a tough number, dude. It's not as easy as you'd think, man. Look, this is his rushing yards per game.
Who did he go against? Who did he go against?
Cleveland against Kansas City. He had 1 carry for 7 yards.
City isn't
8 carries for 10 yards.
He wasn't with a great defensive line who's going to be in the backfield, causing him to want to scramble constantly. That's what you're going to be dealing with when you have a defensive line like the Cleveland Browns. They're going to be in the backfield, and it's going to cause Baker to, run down the field. I'm saying 8.5 yards easy.
We need y'all's help.
That's assuming he can get out of those. Like, if you have a great defensive line and you scramble, it don't mean you're going to get out and gain yards.
He only went above 8 yards last year in 1, 2, 3,
Hey,
4, 5, 6, 7 games. Half
look,
of his
Well,
games.
7.
I'll
That's
tell
small
y'all
sample
this.
season.
CK,
Okay.
you're mentioning the rushing yards. Dude, y'all don't think Baker is good for more than 0.5 of an interception? Like,
One
even if
pick.
it throws the one, that means you hit on that.
Right, but if
So
he
it's
doesn't
like,
throw, I mean,
but by the way,
oh,
again, here comes heel Cody. Baker Mayfield, no one has thrown more interceptions in the past 4 years, since 2018, than Baker Mayfield. So it's like, it. Hey, I'm just saying that might be something to point out. Another one that caught my eye again was it goes back to Nick Chubb, and we've had such a problem defending the run in recent years. Like, is 70 yards, 70 and a half yards? Is that reasonable for Nick Chubb for rushing yards? Like, is our defense going to take enough of a step forward for us to be able to justify saying, "No, I'll take the less on that stat"? Because I think our linebacking core, I think we've been hard on our linebacking core this year, but considering some of the upgrades we made and knowing that we have a player like Brandon Smith now, I don't know, man. Maybe we might be able to stop that run a little bit better than we previously thought before.
All right. Here's what I think we should do. All right. This is what I think we should do. I think we should go something with Christian McCaffrey and receiving. I think we should either go 5 receptions or over 45 receiving yards. Right. I mean,
I think you should go 5 receptions, and it's safer because you can get 5 receptions and get no gains, and as long as he catches the ball, you still have 5 receptions.
I like that.
Would, but
I like that. I would do this. This is what my suggestion is. Christian McCaffrey, more 5 catches. All right. And then here's the one on the other side of the ball. Browns, I think we go Nick Chubb, more 15 carries.
Oh,
okay. If they're beating the crap out of us on the ground, I can see that.
Well, look, I mean, are you going to put the
So
ball
you
into
think-
Kobe Brissett?
So you
But they
think
also have
more
Kareem
than
Hunt.
more than
He just got to get 16 rushing attempts.
All right, here's the thing. So you need who to get. You need. All right. So we're talking about Nick Chubb getting 16. A lot of people are trying to say that I'm going crazy saying that Baker is not going to rush for 8 yards right now. Just so that you guys are aware, from a stats perspective, Baker has played in 60 games and he's got 571 yards rushing, which is almost an average of 10 yards per game that he rushes. So don't try to play this game. Baker ain't never run for 8 in his life. You guys are absolutely going crazy in your mind if you don't think Baker can make.
See,
8.
this is not easy, folks. It's
I
not
know,
easy.
man. That's why this is a great
Let's
spot. But okay, so can I say this though? Something good to consider, Tony, is that they also have Kareem Hunt. So if they want to run the football, they don't have to just consistently feed Nick Chubb. They can give the ball to Kareem Hunt too. So I'm wondering if it would be a better bet to either pick more on the rushing yards for Christian McCaffrey or pick more on the receiving yards for McCaffrey. Because even if he doesn't get 5 receptions, even if he gets 3 of them and a couple of them are chunk plays, I don't know. 5 might not be a bad number. I know one thing. Christian McCaffrey is going to hit more on one of those stats that he has up. I can almost guarantee it, dude.
I also like Baker Mayfield more on pass completions.
So more than 19 pass completions?
I could see him going like 20 for 26 with 220 yards.
Okay, do that one. That one on there and do more. Now, Okay, let's pick one for Christian.
For Christian
Like,
McCaffrey.
which one? Okay, out of all of them, and chat, help out. Out of all these ones for Christian, it's 65.5 rushing yards, 45.5 receiving yards, and 5 receptions. Which one is the better bet to pick? More rushing yards, more receiving yards, or more receptions? Now, you can also pick less, too. So if we don't feel that he isn't going to get 65 rushing yards, we can do less. My suggestion would be to pick 45.5 receiving yards and do more. But that's just me.
Because we're gonna put in another one because I think we're gotta go with CK's 8.5 rush. What if we did another one and we did 8.5 rushing yards over and over on the interception, CK?
Yeah,
I think he throws a pick this game.
I think he's got to.
I
think he's going to be aggressive. I think he is going to try to air the ball out. And I think we've seen him throw some pretty risky passes just in the preseason. Now, I know those don't matter as much, so I don't hate that move. What happens if you do the over on the interceptions? What happens?
More if we did more right now. Oh gosh, if we did more right now, how about this? Say you did this. This is awesome.
$100. What's the most you can win at 100?
That's 3. No, we could go this. We could go like here. We like this one too.
Oh, you can do that flex option too.
And then the flex option, what that does is that if 3 of them hit, you get 1.5. So the payout would be this. It would be where did it go?
And you have to hit all of them, right?
Oh, 20 would get you 100 there. 4 would get you, all 4 would get you 100. 3 would get you 25 more. I like this one where you go big. So the question is, what are we going to do? Good Lord, this is it. We're making the final decisions here. I could see this as I'm ready to sacrifice that one. What if we did this? Tom Brady more, Christian McCaffrey more here. Do you want to go all Christian? No, too much?
No. I'm concerned that they are really going to be splitting his touches, so I don't know.
Let's do Christian. Let's do Baker. Okay, this is my opinion. If we're doing 3, one Tom Brady, 1 for Christian and 1 for Baker, then I'm saying 45. I'm saying more on 45 receiving yards. And I think Tony brought me around. I think I like Baker Mayfield more than 19.5 completions.
Okay.
All right. We're going to do it. All right. That's what we're going with for right now.
Y'all don't want to do one more?
We can to go for the
question is, are you betting more money if you pick one more? You're not betting.
No, you just but you have to hit all of them.
Gotcha. So if you miss on any of them, you don't make it. That's the trick.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Gotcha.
So it's like basically only out the money that you spent.
Yeah. So here we go.
I say you go for it then.
All right, here we go. We're placing this entry right here.
So we're doing 3?
Yeah, we'll do 3. Boom. Just to let you know, is just to show you what see past entries. This is what happened this college set. Lost on the $5 one here because of that stupid Virginia Tech quarterback who threw 4 picks. But here, this one won in the first 5 minutes of Saturday's games. Holton Ahlers, he had to get over 15.5, more than 15.5 rushing yards. He got 57. Kenny McIntosh had a whopping 117 receiving yards versus Oregon, and he only had to get over 22. So look, that 20 turned into 60, baby. So look, that's Prize Picks. They're sponsoring us all season long.
Yeah, sign up, guys.
what-
If you want to help us, sign up for our sponsors and Prize Picks. This is going to be something that we do all season. It's going to be a part of the free for all, so you're going to be able to have say so. And you know what I do with the account for on Fridays for the free for all, and it's going to be how we break down the game every week. You'll be able to look at who Prize Picks, look at the stats that they have up, and based on what we have seen, based on what the team has done so far, we're going to be able to make these picks. And again, man, this is better than any other fantasy site that I've ever come across. It's so easy to use. You're putting down a relatively small amount of money with the ability to make back a whole lot more. Prize Picks is incredible, y'all. Support us. Prize Picks. Use promo code C3 and win some money, y'all. You know you want to. Why not?
What do they match again?
100% match, up to $100 if you use the promo code C3. Prize Picks entries can be made in just 60 seconds or less. It's that easy. It's safe. Offers fast withdrawals. They have all sports ranging from NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, to MMA, cricket, and more. And the best, and what's cool about Prize Picks is you're not competing against other fantasy football players, right? Like you don't have to beat all of the world in fantasy football. You have to use your knowledge of the game, and what you're doing is doing daily fantasy entries for specific players. You have to make more than one pick, right? You can get up to 10 times your money if you do 5 picks, right? So we could have done 5. And if we see that account start to grow, guys, right? You saw the money we got. We got $85 we playing with right now. We put 20 in. Man, we could turn that into $200.
It's so simple. Right? It's so simple, man. And by the way, I saw some of you in the chat saying, "Oh, you could pick more on all of those stats for Christian." Well, hey, man, if you feel that way, go with it. Make some cash. Why not? Prize Picks. Promo code C3, y'all. This is going to be an incredible sponsor.
You know what? We could even do this. How about this? I wonder if we could do another Tom Brady play. Look, do we get to use Tom Brady all week? Oh, look at this. Now let's see if this would be interesting. Just because this is our first time, we won't spend. We won't spend this much time on Prize Picks going forward, but we're trying to learn it ourselves. Let's do one more. Let's see if we do this. Let's do a different one. Let's go Tom Brady more, right? We like that. Let's see if it lets us play the Tom Brady twice if we only get it one time. Because that, man, you can come back here and just go something like this. Let's go Panthers. And let's do, what did we do? Christian McCaffrey more in receiving yards. What if we did more for rushing yards right here? And
I have a really interesting question.
Yeah.
So right now that one wins you $60, right?
Yeah.
Those two.
What if you did just played 2? You played one with the Tom Brady over 0.5 and then Christian McCaffrey over 65.5. And then played another one that was Christian McCaffrey under 65.5, and you're still at a positive net $20, right?
right.
No, I don't think it lets you do the same one more than once.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
So if you're gonna pick Christian McCaffrey's rushing yards, you're either gonna pick more or less. It's not gonna let you pick both.
Good to know. Okay,
no,
so
what he's saying is do another complete different entry like this. Anyway, how about this? Let's see this. We like that. Do you like here was the other one. We did the completions, right? What if we did Baker with 1 interception? And what we do is we can change this. Let's do this.
You know what's fucked up about that? if you do it that way, then it's like, you're almost hoping that he does throw an interception just so that you can win, dude. It's like
Dude,
you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You
bro,
know?
that's why it never fails to bet against your team, because it's a win situation regardless. Like,
Look at this
it's also
one.
a loss situation, but
Let's do this.
Baker over 8, or I'm saying Baker more than 8.5 yards rushing, Baker more than 0.5 interceptions, and then Christian McCaffrey more than
$10.
65.5.
$10. We're doing it. You guys, right? You feel good about it? Is that you cool with that?
Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying.
C3
It's like,
money.
and
It's the
even if
C3
you,
money.
but this is what I'm saying. Even if it doesn't hit, like it's only
$10.
$10.
All right, we're doing it. Boom. It's because so you can only risk up to let's see if we do this.
What did it say? You can only do what?
I think it's because of the Tom Brady that's the problem.
Yeah, you're only
You can
allowed
only
to do so much
basically
money
it's a
with that.
$25 free
Yeah,
play.
maximum for that
But
one.
what if we
Okay.
did this? Cannot pick the same player twice. Dang it. So we don't get that free square, but only once. Okay, I thought we were going to have I don't know. What if with this? You guys like that?
Christian McCaffrey more than I don't know. CK, I gotta be real with you.
I like
that
this one.
the rushing yards for Baker, that does, to me, it seems more likely that he would throw at least one pick. And considering that
you have to do 2 players from 2 teams either. Ooh, we're learning more rules here as we go. You can't only do the Panthers.
learning on the fly, I like that. No, but that's
Okay.
cool. That way we all get a better idea on.
No,
on
I'm
how
gonna
to
like
use
this,
it.
yeah, because we need to make sure that this works for us all year. I like this one right here, or we could just do this. Is we could
Oh,
really
hey,
quickly.
real quick, just so I don't forget. Shout out Panther Gal 73 for the $3 super sticker. Appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, Panther Gal.
You could do something like, I like Jameis Winston in passing yards. Over 225 against Atlanta. I like that.
Atlanta? And they have AJ Terrell. AJ Terrell is a really good corner. But that's another thing. Jameis will throw some picks now. Jameis will throw some picks.
Let's see what the Jameis number. He's 0.5 too.
But everyone is. Look, right now, everyone is. Literally, everyone is at 0.5.
I mean, somebody's going to throw an interception this week.
Somebody's going to probably throw 3 interceptions, to be honest with you.
But guys, you see what we're saying? How easy it is to hit on these different things. Like they give you these really, really good picks.
What do you guys think about this? Christian McCaffrey more, Jameis Winston more, Matt Stafford with 1 pick against the Bills.
Oh, the Jameis Winston one gives me pause, dude. I just don't know about that guy. Like, is he the guy? I don't know.
All right.
I mean, if you feel great about it, don't let me tell you otherwise. But he's so uncertain.
Now, I want to do this McCaffrey one though. So we'll do McCaffrey, and how about this? I like Chubb with more attempts. I think he gets 16 carries. Do $5. All right, Prize Picks, man, really cool. They're a sponsor all season, and one of the things that's awesome about this is we didn't just take we really first, I mean, we want to grow this show, we want to grow support for the show. We appreciate everybody who is supporting us by being part of the super fans, as well as donating with the super stickers, but even just people in the chat room, your presence here makes this awesome. And look, this Prize Picks thing is freaking fun. So I'm really excited to have them as a sponsor. We'll continue to streamline the way we're producing it, how we integrate it into the show, but expect to spot on Tuesday's show as well as the Friday show for the entire season. And what we need to do is we need the chat to help us make some loot. Man, you know what's better? The best money is free money. let's go make some free money on Prize Picks. Use the promo code C3. That was fun, and we'll be watching those. We'll let you know the results on the post-game show on Sunday. Basically, I thought somebody brought this up. Just a couple more things. What does the Panthers defense do against Jacoby Brissett? We're really interested, will this game be a high-scoring, kind of fest because we're high-powered? And I just don't know how it's going to be that. I think the Browns are going to want to slow this game down, run the ball against us. I think they're going to want to keep Baker on the sidelines. And the Carolina Panthers, look, Christian McCaffrey's back and healthy, but do they try to protect him? I really think that he's going to be the back, though, and they're just going to, I won't say feed him, but I don't think that they're going to try to shelter him entirely. Maybe we should just go ahead and say this do you think the Panthers start off 1-0? And I got to say, I do. I'm putting my money with the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean,
listen, if you weren't a Panthers fan, if you were a Panthers fan, I would hope that would be the case. Like, if you didn't like the Panthers, I think you're probably not going to be putting them as 1-0. But if you're a Panthers fan and you don't have them 1-0 this week, I don't know what you're doing with your fandom.
Yeah.
To me, like Low Key says, this is going to come down to whether the Carolina Panthers can stop the run. And this has been the biggest question of our defense for a long time now. And by the way, what a better test. The Browns have a really good offensive line, and they have not one but two really good running backs. So even the fact that they don't have Deshaun Watson, it doesn't really matter all that much because they're not going to ask him to do a whole lot. They're just going to give the ball off, and they're going to run. And I think they're going to stretch the football field. They're going to throw a lot of screen passes. They're going to stretch the edges. And they're going to make us do a little bit of everything defensively in order to try to curtail the rush. To me, it really just depends on our our corners being able to shut everything down. If we're able to play man coverage, stop their receivers from getting open, force them to run the ball, which is something that they're going to do anyway, but especially if we're able to take away the passing game, load up the box and really just run sideline to sideline and smack them in the mouth. I see this as a W for the Carolina Panthers. I don't know how our offense is going to look. Maybe the biggest question that we have to ask is how does Ikem Ekwonu look going up against Myles Garrett? Now, last year, Myles Garrett opened up with Rashawn Slater and the Chargers, who was another first-round draft pick, and Rashawn Slater did pretty damn well. Ikem Ekwonu looked good at left tackle in practice recently and in the preseason. So, if we really think that Ikem Ekwonu is the guy, then is he going to be able to shut down Myles Garrett? Because that's going to be their biggest asset to stopping everything that the Panthers are trying to do on offense.
Yeah. Gosh, I know it's kind of, so much to think of. I want to get the callers in here. Let's go to some calls. The number's 252-228-5098. That's 252-228-5098. Go ahead and take us into the cat calls, Cody.
Yes, sir.
So what are your thoughts on catcalling?
Yeah, it's pretty. You shouldn't do that to somebody.
And how did that make you feel?
Very uncomfortable.
So how do you think catcalling makes the person feel?
It feels good, like.
Who's that cat sitting in the back corner with his face buried in his nose? Who's that kid that can use one?
Uh-oh.
Football. Woo. Finally. Hey, man, I'm going to be a kid waking up on Christmas morning come Sunday, man. I know y'all are too, man. I cannot wait. Man, I was looking on the internet yesterday, y'all, and I saw that New England. No, not New England. A dude that used to play for New England, that defensive end. I know nothing about this dude, man. But the Panthers picked him up. I don't understand it. But they don't trust YGM or something like that. Are they going to convert Brian Burns to a linebacker or some shit? I mean, I don't see the reason of getting him, because I know we released that one defensive tackle. I forgot his damn name. His name begins with an N or whatever. But at certain times, I feel like the front office don't know what the hell they're damn doing. But give me your thoughts on that. And oh yeah, man, this is Panthers and everything. But you notice that the Steelers starting quarterback Mitchell Trubisky, UNC Tar Heels all day. He get the start over Pickett. Keep pounding.
Keep pounding.
We'll see how long.
Yeah, we'll see how long.
I'd be interested. We need to know. I'm really interested what this defense is going to look like. Is that Frankie Louvu is going to be playing a big part of this pass rush? I don't know what this signing means, but I just know that I think that interior, they just had more players that they were going to be able to give hats to, and they had to make a decision, and they really weren't comfortable enough putting and I don't think this is surprising. I was not very comforted when Scott Fitterer came out and said, well, we think that Davyion Nixon can play on the inside or on the edge. That didn't all of a sudden make me feel better about our defensive end situation. I don't know if this guy makes me feel better either. A lot of people said he's prone to some late hits, some shots at the quarterback. I think he had one good season about 3 years ago with the Jets where he was pretty good. So I don't know, but we definitely needed the rotation. But man, G. Cavassier coming in strong with the first call of the night, and football is back. Let's go on to the next call.
What's up, C3? It's Anthony calling in.
What's up, Anthony?
And the season's about to start next Sunday. Going to the game. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully Baker shreds the Browns up. But, man, I just like to get this out of the way. I mean, there's not much to talk about, but throughout the whole season, there's a couple things I'm looking for to happen in order for us to have a winning season. And a lot of it comes on the offensive side of the ball, believe it or not. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to give us at least like 13, 14 games. With this upgraded O-line, it should be okay in terms for Chuba and Donta to run behind if that's the case. Secondly, the O-line. Man, when you talk about how, yes, we only had 5 wins last season, but man, if the defense wasn't on the field 80% of the time, we could have won a lot of those games. When you have the worst quarterback and worst O-line in the league, it's near impossible to do so. With 3 major upgrades, Icky, who I think is miles better already than Cam Irving, Bozeman's going to be great. I love Brady Christensen on the line too. Corbett, he's a solid right guard, way better than John Miller. So, and then we got Moton. Like, we upgraded the O-line. It's just got to stay consistent. The last thing is Baker himself. I've known to be the leader of the Baker clan, I guess you could say, in some ways. But he's got to come out here and prove that he can be a franchise quarterback. This is prove-it season for everyone on this team. I don't want Rule back unless we have a winning record. At the minimum, keep pounding.
Keep pounding. Love that. And by the way, real quick, shout out to my brother, our brother from another mother, Nick Montero, for the $1.99. He says, keep pounding, fam. Nick, appreciate you, brother, as always. You already know. Yeah, it's prove it season. And this is something I've said for everybody, man. Like, it's not like we have a Tom Brady on our team. We don't have an Aaron Donald on our team. There isn't a player that's just, surefire first team all pro. I mean, maybe Christian, but even then, he's got to prove that he can stay healthy. Now he has that injury prone moniker that's following him. Everybody has something to prove, man. And again, I feel like our schedule, which we are going to do that still, right? We're going to pick our season predictions at the end of the show. I think that the first 6 or 7 weeks, due to the amount of home games that we have, man, I just really feel like it's such an opportunity for us to not only prove that we're a good football team, but to prove that we're worthy of a diehard fan base that can get excited about home games, that we don't have to worry about other fans over because Panther fans are in that building because we know the team is about to slap up on these fools. So that's what kind of prove it season we're talking about, man. It's the perfect opportunity for us.
Yeah, we need to start. We're gonna have to be monitoring some of the injury report. I saw someone say, "Look, is Austin Corbett just had a baby? He was out." But I mean, obviously, I don't think that's gonna stop him from playing. Chuba Wubba Hub 24 says, "I heard Bozeman may not play. He's still, what was it, an ankle or something that he was nursing or something to that effect?"
I believe so. I think he said he might not be back even next week. He was injured, so that's another thing to consider. We're going to have Pat Elflin at center going forward, and by the way, to kind of go on that further, the Panthers released an unofficial depth chart that I feel like we could react to. It has kind of confirmed some of the things that we've said. It has Pat Elflin listed at center in front of Bradley Bozeman. But also look at Shi Smith on that list, man. Our 4 main receivers are DJ Moore, Rashard Higgins, Robbie Anderson, and Shi Smith. I'm telling you, it's Shi Smith season, Tony. I'm going to make this a thing. He is going to be a much better player than Demir Bird, and this is the season when he gets to prove it. It's going to be fun.
That needs to be a prize pick. Is who has
Shi
more touchdowns this season, Shi Smith or Demir Bird, more or less, right? So prize picks, thank you for their support from them. And thanks for you guys for calling in at 252-228-5098. Let's go to the next call.
Hey, guys, it's the growl that makes them howl, a.k.a. Joey the Blind Panther. Y'all, I'm super excited. We're actually previewing a motherfucking game tonight, y'all.
Let's go.
An actual game that counts. Seems like it would never happen, you know. Because I feel like the Panthers haven't really played in about 4 years. It's just been the Carolina Kitty Cats. Or if we're lucky, we might get the Carolina McCaffreys, you know. That team usually wins. But yeah, I'm so excited, y'all. I know there's supposed to be a 60% chance of rain, but you know, it may or may not come because Charlotte weather is bipolar. But I'll tell you what did come. Me last night, because I had a dream of this chick.
Oh God.
We were at the beach in Myrtle.
Their finger on the button.
And this chick had an animatronic Sir. Like, she told me she was working for the Panthers and she was piloting it. And it was like straight up animatronic. It was like fake panther. It was like it was not a human. It was an actual panther, 4 legs, straight up like a real panther doing Sir things. And she said, we're just looking to get some thoughts from fans. And she said, what do you think about it? You know what I said? I gave her a big fat wow, wow, wow.
I feel like he really saved that call. It was really going some strange places with animatronic Sir Panther. And guess what made me, you know, thank you, the growl that makes them howl. You know, one of the things is I wish that Lynn was here when we were doing the prize picks. She says, what is the rain? How does this affect the game if it is raining?
Ooh.
Nick Chubb, booyah. But
hey,
all
Christian
of a sudden,
McCaffrey receptions.
Maybe. Or the rushing yards, or does that throw into some shade on our Baker Mayfield 20 completion number if we're in a ground and pound game in the rain? Oh my goodness.
Lynn, you have to be
Man.
here on time. What are you doing?
I'm actually doing mine right now, and I just took out the Baker Mayfield 20 completion one just because you said that just now.
Nice. Way to go. The Bat Daddy is already up there.
And the promo code does work. So, I just put in 50 and I got 100 on it. So
nice.
Hit that promo code, though. Promo code C3, support the podcast, make some money. Why not? You're allowed to have something nice in life. Why not? Have it.
Yeah. And you're going to be watching these Panthers regardless. The number's 252-228-5098. Next call.
You know how Green Day said, wake me up when September ends? Well, wake me up when the Sunday comes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Joey the Blind Panther is going to be ready and waiting for this game and ready and waiting for the post-game show. Really going to be a great way to kick off the season. Baker Mayfield stomping his former team. Or at least, man, I just can't wait. We're going to learn. Maybe we get to learn something. And, I was watching. What did Coach say today or yesterday? He came out and said, what was the quote, Cody, that was floating around about what he wanted the Panther fans, it's important about good football?
I've got a clip of that rule. Tell you himself. He's basically wants Panther fans to be excited. So here, I'll share that right quick.
Hey, while you wait for that, what do y'all think about this? Jamison Crowder. Oh, sorry. Good.
I'm excited to see them play at home. It's been a long time since we played great football at home. It goes all the way back to the Saints game last year. And so we've made a certified emphasis on our team of eliminating all the distractions and showing up and playing our best football because, I want to win, but I also want us to be fun to watch. And I also want us to play with passion and energy. And so I want Burns to go be Spider Burns or whatever the heck his nickname is. I want D-Jack to be D-Jack. I want them to be themselves, but I also want us to play great as a team. And so, I'm excited to see them play. They've worked really hard this training camp, and I've been waiting for this moment. I'm excited to see them play. I'm excited to see them play at home.
So I really want to say this is that I think Matt Rule looks good. I know that he's put some emphasis on taking care of his physical health a little bit more, cutting out the sugar, getting some exercise in. But as somebody who kind of went through a similar transformation myself over the last 18 months, where I just had not been putting my physical health at the front of everything. And when you feel better, man, you can go out and dominate better. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like this is that, like, this really heartens me, man, about Matt Rule, because I was wondering if Matt Rule was beaten by the NFL, right? If he was a broken, beaten man after last year. And we don't know if he's going to be a coach that succeeds. We don't know what his tenure in Carolina will look like. But I think that this is a good thing, though. Like, I mean, at least says this is that he hasn't quit. And, man, I don't know. There's something to it. I think to look good, feel good. I really think that this is an important turn, or at least if we're looking at everything, we're looking at no stone goes unturned on the C3 Panthers podcast, is that this really, truly is, I would think that this is some positive evidence there. So the number is 252-228-5098. Let's go to the next call.
Yeah, it's me, C-Dog. Man, I've been only got 1 week away for this beat down that the Nick Chubb and Davyion Clowney and Myles Garrett is going to put on us this Sunday. So everybody get ready, because especially that defense is going to be real amped up to goddamn put Baker Mayfield on his backside all game. So just go ahead and get ready for it. I don't know why he even gave them bulletin board material talking about he gonna fuck them up. Now the whole Browns defense is gonna be looking to fuck up Baker Mayfield this Sunday. So go ahead and be prepared for it. And, they might have to goddamn bring out a stretcher for that little motherfucker, like on the old Madden. I'm saying, anybody remember the old man? They bring out the stretcher on the field for you and goddamn drive you off the goddamn field. But anyways, man, it is what it is. I'm just waiting to get this season over with, because we can fire Matt Rule and get us a real fucking coach in here and everything. But with that being said, shout out to goddamn G Baby, the motherfucking GOAT. Shout out to goddamn C3 Podcast, because they do this shit every Tuesday, every goddamn Friday, the free for all. So whenever you come in here, make sure you hit the motherfucking like button. Make sure you hit the motherfucking subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? Keep pounding. Everybody have a great night. C3, everybody with the C3. You know what I'm saying? Have a goddamn great night. And real quick, man, Tony's iced up goddamn temper was fucking classic. And like the best ice up ever. I go back and watch it sometimes just because it's so fucking funny. But that was a epic ice up. But with that being said, keep pounding. Great night. Good night, everybody. This is C-Dog.
Man,
Keep
C-Dog.
pounding. Shout out C-Dog.
Man, big time supporter of the show, big time Panther fan. And you can check him out a lot on the Friday Free For All. You can check him out. He's always he's talking about a ice up pick that was 3.5 hours into the show last week. That mug be listening to the show. So fantastic.
Oh, he's a diehard, man. Listen, all we have is diehards, Tony. I don't know if you know this, but if you're a fan of the C3 podcast, you're a diehard. And you know what else is true about all of these diehards specifically? I don't know what it is about us, but we attract a bunch of freaks, dude. A bunch of really weird freaks that have this really weird kink, and they like to be shamed. For the life of me, I can't understand why. But hey, I'm not here to shame anyone. So without further ado, Big Papa, talk to these people, yo.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is your pilot speaking. I'm here to guide you to your destination of shame. Now, you've come in here to enjoy some Panthers conversation, to contribute to the conversation in the chat, learn more about our sponsors, Prize Picks and Manscaped, but yet you haven't hit that like button yet? I have one thing to say to all you absolute freaks. Subscriber shame.
Subscriber shame. 170 strong viewers, 125 thumbs up. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell to help us whoop the ass of the YouTube algorithm and get us in front of as many Panther eyeballs and ears as you possibly can. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe, nail that notification bell, and if you would like to, consider becoming a member. Pull up that hat one more time. We're going to be... Yeah, we're going to
Let's go ahead and give it away. Let's go ahead and give it away right now. All right.
Let's do it.
Do it.
The C3 Superfan membership. Guys, you can hit that join button. Helps us reinvest into the podcast. Like right now, new computer right here. Haven't gotten the audio all kinked out yet. So I have work all the kinks out. So I had to still doing it on the old computer. We're getting Cody a microphone this week because his microphone blew out. We're reinvesting into the show with this money and also by giving back to you guys who give to us. So if this is going out, one of the 51 super fans at random, I'm going to hit the random number generator here. And let's see who's going to get this. Number 44 on the list is Sean Butler. Sean Butler. The Butler did it. Sean Butler, this hat is yours. And if you don't like the flat build hat, because if you bend this hat, I think it would really ruin it. I would never bend a brim that beautiful. But if you would prefer a t-shirt, I'll give you a t-shirt. Sean Butler send me a message on Discord, Twitter, or you can hit me up at email, carolinacatchronicles@gmail.com. We'll get you that hat out. And look, I mean, there's some cool things. It's not just super fan giveaways. Like, wow, we wanted to reward people because, man, this one is like, look, I'm going to be giving away stuff, and we're going to have all of these promotions to not just super fans. I had already planned this one because I was so kind of moved by how many supporters we had in just 2 weeks. Greg, though, gave away a few decals for people's cars.
Yeah.
Right. So people have been posting about that. So here we go. Remember that. Somebody remember Sean Butler. I got to write that name down so I don't forget it. Sean Butler. We'll do something else. Look, I'm going to do something on Sunday too. We'll give something. 44. Sean Butler. I want to make sure that we don't just do things only for super fans, though. I did want to reward them this week. So I appreciate all the people that donated money, but that just being here. So Sunday, what we'll do is we'll do a giveaway in our first post game. I'll give away a T-shirt and some other things maybe. Let's make the post game show on Sunday a big deal. Maybe we can give away a decal too on Sunday.
I was going to say, Tony, I just put out a couple weeks ago that halftime of the first week of the first game, I'm going to put a tweet out, and the first person who can respond to me with the answer for whatever I'm asking about correctly we'll get a decal for that. So we passed out some new decals on Sunday too. But yeah, I can do the one for that as well for the post game show.
Yeah, we're gonna do a T-shirt. We'll do a decal. We'll do some fun stuff. You know what? Before the end of the season, I'll give away this Jonathan Stewart football right behind me. We'll do all that. Look, is that again, this is not for us to make money, but for us to continue to grow the show and grow a way to diversify the kind of content and the fun. So there's lots of cool ways. In fact, let's go ahead. We'll carry on with a couple of more cat calls and see what else we got. Let me see if I missed anybody. Did we listen to this?
Yo. White Chocolate Espresso. What's happening? I just did the whole pick thing. I don't know if I did it right, but I did it.
Yeah, you did. White chocolate.
Fuck it. Go big or go home. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm excited about this Browns game. Kind of worried about Baker. You know, I hope he doesn't wind up playing like that, Clemson quarterback, DJ. Ugh. Man, was he awful in that game.
Don't ever Spencer Rattler doesn't suck a big one,
God
dude.
awful of a quarterback. Ugh, I couldn't even imagine having that quarterback. But anyhow.
Oh my God, you're insufferable.
I think Robbie's going to have a big game this year, this year, but also this game. And I think so is CMC. I think it's going to be two standouts. Give me your thoughts. Peace.
Is Panther Gal still in the chat? Panther Gal, if you're in the chat, say hello for me. Look, White Chocolate Espresso, my bastard son, has already has already joined the Prize Picks under the C3 code. So is the Bat Daddy. There's an opportunity for you guys to do that as well and take advantage of that free square with the Tom Brady, that free entry. Yeah. Panther Gal with her donation. Please say hello if you're still in the chat. Let's keep going on with the calls. The number is 252-228-5098.
Hey guys, Chuck from Elizabeth City, aka Carolina Sports Guy. Just a couple little things, and maybe I'm out of tune here. I was really kind of shocked Davyion Nixon got cut, and I know there's been some injuries, and guys say he wasn't progressing, but I had higher hopes for him more than I did Phil Hoskins, and I guess somehow Hoskins has really elevated his game, or at least kind of maintained his position, where Nixon's evidently disappointed. Maybe injuries has a lot to do with that. The other thing I kind of wanted to address is, am I the only one, and I'm sure I'm not, that really is holding their breath every time CMC gets on the field? I mean, it has been 2 years, and it's been injuries, and they've been kind of freaky injuries, or, not like season-ending injuries where he was totally, hit. I mean, it was kind of like on his own, doing. But it's just one of those things where it's almost like we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Like he is just one play away where if he goes out with a injury and he is going to be out for some period of time, it's almost like all of a sudden that promise of him being this ultimate running back, the best we ever had, and him being somebody who never lived up to expectations. And it's a shame because it was his 2,000-yard season and the season before that where he could have had 2,000 yards if Rivera would have played him in the last game, which he did like an idiot. But to have him have two great seasons like that, and then these last two seasons have been wrought with injuries, I just hope that he can have a healthy season. He doesn't have to carry the team. If this offense have orchestrated itself right, and Baker Mayfield, who has a little touch with the ball, can use McCaffrey to his benefit, this offense can be explosive. And, CMC doesn't have to carry the load, but he can really be used in certain situations where we can benefit and be explosive and really put some points on the board for a change. And I'm just hoping he doesn't have one of these injuries. That's my biggest fear I'm holding my breath for. At least if we can get him over halfway through the year before anything happens, I would feel better. What's your guys' thoughts on that?
Sadly now I'm addicted to Prize Picks because I can only think about what does this mean for this?
I love it, dude.
Yeah.
It's literally the perfect. Prize Picks is the perfect sponsor for the C3 Panthers podcast, and there's no doubt about it.
So a buddy of mine, it's a funny story, guys, with Prize Picks. A buddy of mine is a CEO of a place called Bet Karma, and he was the first partner of Prize Picks. And he said that CEO has made every right decision that you could possibly, have put. Every time a decision came up, he's made the best decision for the company. So we're definitely partnered with a good squad.
It's awesome. I'm sitting here looking at while we're talking about it. Yeah. Just out of curiosity, y'all think it's a safe bet Jameis Winston throws at least one pick?
Safe entry. That he throws one
we
pick.
We have to get used to the nomenclature. I think Baker is good. I think Jameis is good for it. I think Stafford is good for it. Like, these guys love to air out the football. So I would say yes. Going back,
I like Jameis over that more on 225 personally. I feel like they're going to run up the Falcons. 225, Jameis going to have like 300 yards and three touchdowns, three picks. Yeah. He's actually been pretty good. But anyway, I was just thinking this, going back to the caller, though. Really want to go back to the caller.
Then I wanted to say something when you're done.
With Christian McCaffrey, right, is Chuck from Elizabeth City is right. It's like we're all holding our breath.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I drafted Christian McCaffrey in the listener league tonight, the number one pick. Right? Is that I saw someone say this, is that if you don't draft Christian McCaffrey in number one slot, you draft Jonathan Taylor over him, you're just a coward. And really, you're being hamstrung, pun intended, by the fear of him getting hurt. We have 50% of the data that says that Christian McCaffrey is durable, and 50% of the data says he's not. This is the year that determines the narrative of if he's a hurt player or if he just had 2 seasons with some injury, right? Is it more than a narrative? And the last thing I want to go to is, how does Ben McAdoo use Christian McCaffrey? The thing is Ben McAdoo doesn't like to rush the ball, but he has always used running backs as a way. I mean, it doesn't mean he doesn't use running backs in the game. So that 5 reception number, all of a sudden you might be using Christian McCaffrey, and you're talking about people worried about this Cleveland Browns defense and sending the dogs, literally the dogs after Baker Mayfield. Well, you know how you crush a pass rush? You let Christian McCaffrey leak out in a running back in a screen pass and let him take it to the house, homie. Take it to the house with a screen pass. Let the rush come. Boom. That's a McAdoo play right there. So I would be interested. I'm going to go back and look at this. Go ahead, Cody, because I want to look at how many catches did the Giants running back have in 2015 when Ben McAdoo it was 2015. He was the offensive coordinator then, I'm pretty sure. So go ahead.
It's been
Your
right.
point.
Yeah. So, but when it comes to Christian McCaffrey and the injuries, and holding your breath every time he enters the field, look, you're gonna feel that way until you don't. That might be a simplistic answer, but remember that this fan base has a history with a guy like Davis, who literally tore the same ACL 3 times in a row. Like, Panther fans thought legitimately that we might never see Thomas Davis play another snap of football. And luckily, knock on wood, Christian McCaffrey has not torn an ACL. He hasn't dealt with these big time injuries. There hasn't been, a meniscus, a ham, or like a patellar tendon, any of those injuries that can really hurt people. Christian hasn't faced that yet. So I think that, again, when I say it's prove it season, everyone has something to prove. Christian McCaffrey, no one doubts the kind of talent that he has. Even the biggest Christian McCaffrey hater in the world would be absolutely dumb to deny the kind of talent and ability that Christian McCaffrey brings on the football field. It's just a matter of him staying healthy, and he has to prove that. And I do think that if they implement him into the passing game correctly, and if our offensive line is able to actually, give him some blocks downfield, Christian may have a better year this year than his second year when he went 1,000 rushing and 1,000 receiving yards. He just has to do it, has to prove it.
Yeah, I think that Christian McCaffrey is going to have a year this year.
Yeah.
That's what we just can't live in fear forever. But you said it right, Cody, is that we are going to feel that way until we don't anymore.
Yeah.
And it's going to take one full healthy season. If we get 17 games out of Christian McCaffrey, we forget that narrative.
Yeah.
It's gone. It's erased.
Yeah.
It's a race.
Think about how fast they changed, too. Remember, Cam Newton was never injury prone. Greg Olsen, never injury prone. Until all of a sudden, you just are. It happens to you in a blink. And if you're a running back, that's even doubly, man, because no one takes more punishment over the course of the season than a bell cow running back. So it's even further compounded.
I'm excited. Look, is that the running back for the New York Giants, and I thought somebody put in the chat, was a good comment, is Ben McAdoo's never had a running back with this type of talent at all in his whole career.
Yeah.
Is that Rashad Jennings was the running back in 2015. He only had his career, he had 930 rushing attempts rushes and 3,772 rushing yards. That's it. Right? I mean, think about that. Is Christian McCaffrey has had more rushing yards than him in 2 seasons almost.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this in 2015, where Ben McAdoo had probably his best offense, Rashard Jennings rushed 195. He toted the ball 195 times for 863 yards, his career high that year. He had 29 catches that season for 296 yards. He averaged 10 yards per reception. I'm telling you, you put Christian McCaffrey into that.
Yeah.
And those numbers look incredibly different.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited, but we will be, what are they, hanging on bated breath? Is that
that's
saying?
a great, that's exactly it.
That's what we'll be like all season until we're not. But I tell you this is, I think it's time. The number's 252-228-5098.
Lokes, man.
What up,
I
Lokes?
feel like we should use Laviscus Chenault out the backfield. Hubbard ahead of Hubbard. The defense is going to be a top 5 run defense. is going to be a top 5. No, top 10 run defense, top 5 pass defense, top 10 overall defense. I believe the run defense is going to be vastly improved. The offensive line is going to take at least 4 weeks to gel.
Yep.
I expect Mayfield to have a big Sunday. I expect this to have a top pass defense. And that's all I got to say. Shout out to Cody, a.k.a. the Stephen A. Smith, and the rest of y'all guys are the tips.
I tell you this, when you...
He called me the Stephen A. Smith. I don't know if that's a compliment or an insult, but I'll take it either way, Lux.
Yeah, let's just talk about our defense. Is that I think we're really excited about this, about the way that this defense is kind of set up. Like it feels like, well, I don't know if we're excited. I think it's something different than we are maybe accustomed to, and that is this kind of Legion of Boom type design. Is that our secondary is really the one, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's the strength of this team on this defense, right? Cody?
It definitely is one. I mean, I think you could argue that we have one of the strongest secondaries in the league when I sit here and look at it, and I think it's slept on, to be honest with you. I don't think a lot of people, it's kind of going under the radar.
Cody, your thoughts on you've been a big fan of this you've been a big fan of this secondary. What are your thoughts on this defense going forward? Because right now, I mean, it does feel like it's built back to front.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I believe that very shortly into our season, one of the things that you're going to hear on all the shows, on ESPN and Fox and all the people who get paid to give their hot takes, they're going to come around late to this train that I'm about to tell you. But the Panthers might have the best defensive back core in the NFL. Straight up. And I mean that shit. I say that shit with my chest. Okay, when you factor in our safeties with Xavier Woods, Jeremy Chin, those are 2 bangers right there. But then on top of it, let's be real about this, man. J.C. Horn and C.J. Henderson, those are the Bash brothers, baby. They're going to shut shit down on both sides of our field. It's going to give Dante Jackson an opportunity to play fast. The Panthers are going to man you up unlike they have never done in our entire history. We have so much talent. We've primarily been a zone defense when it comes to coverage. We're going man. We're going to be aggressive. Expect to see a lot of corner blitzes because we have so much speed at that cornerback position. A lot of safety fire blitzes and just overall aggressive attitude with shut down corners. People are going to come around to this very fast that the Panthers have not only the best young cornerback field in the NFL, but maybe the very best out of all of them. And I mean that shit when I say it, man.
Big stuff, man. Great calls tonight. Look, post-game show is going to be here after the game on Sunday. So go ahead and file that number away, 252-228-5098. Make sure you really come with your best, because we're going to try to limit. If this post game is like they were in the past, we're going to need to limit it, do some limitations with the number of calls. So make sure you get your call in, but make sure you bring it. You bring it like it's like waiting to get on the Dan Patrick show.
Hey, yeah, and speaking of coming with your best, listen, fellas, fantasy football draft season is right around the corner. It might be happening right now. As of tonight, the boys have been drafting their people all night in the middle of the show. CD Lamb is obviously really good, but have you seen these beautiful balls? It's time to get your snake looking right for this snake draft for the sponsors of today's show, Manscaped. The leader in below the waist grooming have created a championship lineup with their Performance Package 4.0. Join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped and get ready for kickoff by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus shipping with code Panthers. Can I tell you how simple that code is? Panthers. What are we talking about? Panthers. That's all you got to remember. And if you need to, write down the number for the C3 Cat Calls and then also write down that code, manscaped.com. I'm telling you right now, I've always been afraid of shaving in those areas. This lawnmower 4.0 helps tremendously in my confidence in making sure that I'm able to make sure my wife is happy with what I present to her in the off chance she lets me happen to see her naked. So anyway, go to manscaped.com, use code Panthers and support the show while also getting yourself some equipment to manage your equipment.
Hey man, it's time to do some. It's time to do some deforestation below the belt, fellas. You know what I'm talking about. And you know what, Tony? You showed those nose hair trimmers, dude. That's a godsend, man. I realized that I had a forest in my nose, and that was absolutely perfect, dude. And it catches on the boogers and all that nasty stuff, dude. It's not a good look, especially if you have a nice little shorty looking up at you. So trim your nose hairs. Trim your pubes. Manscaped.com, promo code Panthers.
Also, Panther Gal, make sure you send me an email at carolinacatchronicles.com. You're the winner of one Cam Wow Super Towel.
Nice.
One Cam Wow Super Fan Towel. So, Panther Gal, you are the winner of tonight's one of the giveaways for the people that contributed in a super sticker, man. So thank you for your support. Thank you for everybody who has joined this C3 super fan group. Email me at carolinacatchronicles@gmail.com. I just need your address. Sean Butler, we're waiting on you. Go ahead and make sure you contact me via social media, Discord, or via email. You won the hat. This fly ass hat right here.
Yeah.
With this dope
show
grill.
it. Hold it up. Yo, that is a badass hat,
dude.
man.
I love that hat. I love the material on that hat.
Yeah. So
hey,
I've been to that bill though.
Yeah. Very neat stuff. All right, guys. Last part of the show. Well, we got two parts of the show left. We're going to be doing our ice up picks a little bit later, where we tell someone ice up, toughen up to get it together. But guys, it's time to make picks. Not only are we, let's go around the horn just real quick. We need to keep a running document. I always say I'm going to do this really well, and I never do it very well.
I'll put it on the Google Docs.
All right, awesome. Let's pick. Look, anybody in here picking the Browns over the Panthers in Week 1? I'm not. I really think the Panthers feel great. Let's just do a single pick because we're going to keep up with our picks for Week 1. Right? That's what we typically do. We do the Panthers game for Week 1, and we do the other NFC South games. So let's knock that out real quick, and then we'll go through the whole Panthers schedule and try to bust out to see how we doing. Anybody picking the Browns in this opener?
Nah. By the way, the one opener in like something like almost 2 decades or something like that. It's been a long time since they've won an opener. We're at home. Baker Mayfield has a chip on his shoulder. Yeah, man. How could you not? I'm picking Carolina. And we're not doing score. We're just doing just overall pick.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
All right. Yeah, I got Browns. I got Browns.
Yeah, let's score. Let's do scores just for the fun of it.
Yeah. I think the Panthers. All right. Browns. Go ahead, Cody. Start with it. Browns.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go 30-21 Carolina.
Wow. Big, higher scoring than I expected. All right. Cody Lashney goes 31. What was it? 31-20?
30-21.
30-21. Panthers. I'm going to go Panthers winning this. And I'm going to say that we're somewhere, let's say 23-13 Panthers. 23-13 Panthers.
2013 Panthers. Okay. Let me hit this. Go ahead, CK.
I'm gonna go. Listen, and this is solely because of Matt Rule's statement that he wants people to enjoy watching the Panthers. He wants it not only to win, but us to be enjoyable to watch. So I think the Panthers are not going to take their foot off the gas. I think it is going to be 35-14.
35-14. Okay.
Which is crazy. You know that Vegas has this as a 2-point game right now.
It's
Go ahead, Greg.
3.5 now. Actually, I think it changed today.
Ooh,
so 3.5 for Carolina. Went from 2.5 Cleveland last week to 3.5 Carolina today. I think, but I'm not sure. I'll double check. I'm right there with CK. I was going to go high too, but I think that Cleveland scores a little more than 14. So I'm going to say 35-21.
Gosh, you guys are totally on the over on this. Is that the over is 41.5. They see this as a 20-17 type contest or 21-20 type of contest. All right, so the Browns in a route. Look here, let's just do quick then. It's Tampa Bay. It's not. It's the Saints and the Falcons. Let me see where they're at. Saints at Falcons.
Oh, so we're picking all of this week's.
Well, yeah, we'll do this week's just for remember we did the NFC South last year.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so now I'll put the schedule down until we're ready for it.
It is in Atlanta at 1:00. You know what? I'm going to say this is I'm taking the Saints right now. I just don't know what the Falcons have. I think the Falcons may not be as bad as people think, but the Falcons just don't have any wide receiving threat other than this new rookie, London, and Kyle Pitts, who everybody, Kyle Pitts only had one receiving touchdown last year. One. That was it.
Julio.
So
really?
I'm sitting there. I'm picking this. I'm picking the Saints. We don't need to do the score in this game, though. Saints, who you got?
Yeah, I'm also going to go Saints. I don't ever depend on the Falcons to win anything. So, New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we all agreeing?
I'm actually going to go Atlanta.
Okay.
I think Atlanta's going to be better than people think they are. I know, Cody, you just said that, but I think that they may start off better. I think it sucks because I feel like Atlanta's had a solution at quarterback like since I can remember. And I feel like that they may have just walked into the next solution at quarterback. So it's going to really irritate me if they just walk right into another 12, 13-year franchise quarterback who's not necessarily the best in the league, but a serviceable quarterback. It's going to be a little irritating for me. But I think they'll win.
All right.
I agree with you. I do think
down.
that they're going to be a little bit better than people are giving credit for. But I think part of it is just not knowing. And looking at their roster, it's easy to underestimate them. Yeah, but I still think it's a safe bet in New Orleans.
And then the final one for the NFC South is a good game on Sunday at 8:20. Bucks at Cowboys. Dude, the Bucks start with a loss. Gosh, I could almost see this is like all of the problems going on with Tampa Bay on their offensive line. Supposedly Tom Brady and his wife getting a divorce. Some people think that he had plastic surgery. Some people have suggested the Masked Singer. I know that it's hard to bet against Tom Brady. But, I mean, and I always, you don't want to be the person that's forecasting the shoe to drop. And, man, people have been doing that for Tom Brady forever. Mm-hmm. On the road, the Cowboys never win at home in these big type games right here. Are the Bucks this? Did you know how? I didn't realize how good of a season Tom Brady had last year. He set career numbers in almost everything except for touchdowns.
He could have been MVP last year. Like he really could have been. It's crazy.
The dude is
you guys
incredible.
Go. You guys go first.
I don't know if this is he actually getting a divorce or is that just a rumor?
That's a rumor, but there's like they were talking about how his interview on like a podcast, he mentioned everybody as to the reason why, except for Giselle, as to why he was missing it. while he was missing time. And so I think a lot of people were pointing out the fact that he didn't even mention his wife. It was like he spent so much time explaining and talking about his kids and his parents and everything, but not his wife. And so it was like writing on the wall for people.
People are just so people are just so
I know.
chatty though, and people could
Right.
make any kind of dumb assumption about anyone.
Mhm.
I don't know. Look, he's still the GOAT. Just like Gray Fox says, you don't have to like him. You know, I have no reason to doubt him yet. And like Tony said, in these big time moments, I don't think the Cowboys are clutch. I really don't. I know they've got a good team, but I think Tampa Bay is probably going to come away with it. I know their offensive line had kind of been banged up a little bit too.
Yeah.
But nah, I'm still going Tampa, man.
Tampa for me is worse this year than they were last year. Dallas, I think could be better this year than they were last year, and it's in Dallas. I think last year was in Tampa Bay, the opening game, Dallas Tampa Bay, and it was in Tampa Bay. I think it was like a 9-point game. And this year, I think Dallas may be favored, so I'm going Dallas on this one.
The only thing, I think you're right in some ways, Greg, except for the offense, man. They don't have Amari Cooper anymore. It's all CeeDee Lamb. And
Sure.
I think that whoever they paid, that other Gallup or whatever, he's always hurt.
But he's good when he's healthy. He's really good when he's healthy. He's just always hurt. He's a Christian.
I'm going with you. I'm rocking Dallas in the upset in the opener because I got and CK, who you got?
I'm going Tampa. It's so hard to go against Tampa.
I think you're right. Well, I mean, I understand that. So we're split on that. Is everybody picked the Browns? Greg was on the Islands with the Falcons, and then we split when it came to this Cowboys-Bucks game. And this is a good segue to let's go through the Panthers schedule here because I made a hot take on Pirate Radio on Friday. I go on Pirate Radio every Friday at 4 p.m. You can check that on Facebook and YouTube. Pirate Radio 1250 or Pirate Radio 92.7 FM. I've said this. I think the Panthers win the division this year. Holy cow.
You're not the only
I know.
It's
very
surprisingly
wild.
enough, there's some media pundits, mainly the media darling of the NFL, Kyle Brandt believes that as well.
I don't know, man. We'll see. It's really going to come down to if our defense can be anywhere. If it can be as good as it was last year. Let's just say that. If it can be as good if it was last year and better in the red zone, I think our offense is much improved. I think our special teams is improved. We're better. We're better, and I'm ready for the Buccaneers to take a step back. I don't know we don't know enough about these Saints, in my opinion, and the Falcons. Their their number one receiver on their team's Damiere Byrd. Boom. So that's a big field. I know. I'm going out there. All right. So we've already all picked the Panthers over the Cleveland Browns. Week 2. I think it's an incredibly important game for the Carolina Panthers. If you go on the road and lose to the New York Giants after last season's just horrific performance in New York, with the stretch that's about to follow, I just don't know if you can recover from a loss like that. Is like a loss in New York could be a death blow to this season. And I know you don't want to say that in week 2. There's a lot of football to play. I think the Carolina Panthers start 2-0 and win on the road decisively against the New York Giants. You guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with the Panthers here. It was so disappointing that we lost a single game to the NFC East last year, and we literally before every game predicted the Panthers to win. A lot of people are still not predicting the Giants to be very good. Kayvon Thibodeau, their first-round draft pick, got hurt. I think we all think that Daniel Jones is not going to be long for being a starting quarterback up there. And it goes back to what I said earlier. If our defensive backs are who we think they are, oh, dude, we might have picks for everybody. You get a pick, and you get a pick, and you get a pick. Dude, I'm going Panthers. we'd have to go on the road and win that game.
So
Are we
real
doing
quick,
are we doing scores or just straight picks?
I
No,
think these just straight picks. Yeah.
I'm just wondering, what are we predicting right here? Like we're predicting.
We're trying to
we're
pick-
going through the whole season again.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
trying to
win,
figure out
loss.
what our records were, what our record is.
Because the
by
last time we
end.
did this, we didn't know who the quarterback was going to be. We didn't know who the left tackle was going to be, left guard. Now we have an idea of what the team looks like with the depth chart. So, given their team, given our team, this is our before the season starts, this is our official season predictions.
Okay, so you're 2-0 right now through the first 2 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm indeed 2-0.
Cody, anybody picking the Giants to win in week 2?
No.
All right, so everybody starts 2-0. The question is, do we go 3-0 hosting? Look at this, a lot of home games in this opening stretch.
A lot of home games.
Cleveland at home, then on the road, then 3 more in a row at home.
I know it's an opportunity. It's a real to build that home field advantage. We have to capitalize.
Yeah, I think this is. I'm gonna say we start 3-0, and then I'm gonna just to speed this up a little bit. In weeks 4 and 5, I think we lose one of those 2 games. I think it might be the Arizona Cardinals actually more than San Francisco 49ers. I think we're so bad again. We probably actually match up better against the Cardinals than we do against the Niners, honestly. I think we start 4-1. Carolina Panthers 4-1 through week 5. So I'm going W, and then a loss to the 49ers. Boy, we're some homers.
So you're going 4-0 and lose to the 49ers. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't have the schedule in front of me. So you're starting 4-1 with the first loss to the Niners. Okay.
Yes.
Let you, Cody. First 5 games. What are you starting? That way I just do 5 games at a time.
All right, so that's up to San Fran. Okay.
Yeah.
I have us narrowly beating the Saints.
Okay.
I think we beat the Cardinals because we always do. And this is the tough one, man. I'm going to be realistic. And I'm also going to say that we're going to drop San Fran.
Okay, so you've got us at 4-1 as well with the first loss of San Fran?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm 2-0 before this. I think we beat the Saints. So 3-0. Which I don't love that we're starting out the season again with another hopeful start, and then we play against a freaking ridiculous amount of good teams. I think we win against Arizona. I think we lose. So how far are we going? Are we going all the way to the Rams?
Or go to the Niners.
Okay, yeah, I think we lose to the Niners.
Okay, so you're 4-1 up to the Niners too. Okay, I'm going to go 4-1 through the first 5 games, but I have us losing to the Saints.
Okay,
first, so
I could see that. I could see that.
We always have trouble with the Saints. So,
all right. So the next 5 games, let's do like you said, 5-game chunks. Can you scroll down a little bit, Cody?
Yep.
Just so look, I think we lose on the road. I'm gonna put an L on the road. Then we lose 2 in a row. I have none of my pens. Please. We lose 2 in a row.
So you guys listen to the Niners and the Rams?
Yes. Yes. I think we. Man. Back in Bank of America. I think we catch a W against Tampa Bay.
Okay.
All right. So we're back in it. That puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. No, I'm going to catch us with an L against Tampa Bay. We lose 3 in a row.
Okay.
And then we go on we beat the Falcons. Is a W. I think we pull off a W against the Bengals. Then we get a win against the Falcons. 3 in a row. And then a loss on the road against Baltimore. Is that my 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or is that more? That's
Yeah, I
6.
was
All right,
looking
I
up
will
the
stop
progress.
there. I'm gonna stop with the Falcons game. So that puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 3 through 10 weeks.
Oof, okay, man. I think we're gonna lose to the Rams.
Okay.
I am going to pick the upset. I think we're gonna beat Tampa.
Okay.
Keep on going back to this defensive backfield, man. Like, if we're able to stay healthy and play aggressive, I really do see a lot of picks galore. And I know it's Tom Brady, but I think that the Panthers are going to be able to pull that out. I have a W against Atlanta. So I have a loss with the Rams, a W against Tampa, a W against Atlanta. This is going to be interesting, man. So it's on the road. I'll give us. Oh, that's tough, man. It's just tough to think what kind of team we're going to be at that point. Injuries. I'm going to go that we're going to get. We'll take an L at Cincy. It's at and we're on the road too. I think we're going to lose to Cincinnati. And fuck it. We sweep the Falcons this year.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah.
Okay. But you, CK? Starting with the Rams, I guess.
So I've got a loss to the Rams. I've got a loss to the Bucks. I just don't see a path right now where we're worse than they are, or where we're better than they are. The Falcons, we got the win on that. The Bengals are a loss. Where are we at? So we're going to the
then
second
Atlanta's
Falcons
the next
game.
game to pick,
Okay.
and then I'll go through them.
I think we beat Atlanta. Yeah, we're going to sweep Atlanta.
All right, and I will go with the loss for the Rams. I'm going to say we beat Tampa Bay. I'm going to say we beat Atlanta, lose Cincinnati, and beat Atlanta.
So does that put us all at? I was at 7 and 10 through 7 and 3.
7 and 3. Cody is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 4. Or excuse me, Cody 7 and 3. You're 7 and 3. Cody CK 6 and 4. I'm 7 and 3.
Okay. Cool stat. Someone put Baker Mayfield's never lost to Joe Burrow 7 and 1 against the Bengals. Ooh, Baker Mayfield on his revenge tour of everything. He's going to tear up the AFC. Oh, he gets to play as all of his AFC buds this year. All right, so that puts us into say this: we take a loss against the Ravens. And a loss against Denver. We lose 2 in a row for me. 1 on the road, 1 at home. That makes us 7 and 5.
You may as well just finish out the rest of it from here.
Yeah. Okay. Scroll up for me. 7 and 5 through the bye week for me. And then I got a win against the Seahawks on the road. I got a win against the Steelers, a win against the Lions, a loss against the Saints, against the Bucks, and a loss on the road against the Saints. What does that make me?
So that makes you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and so should make you 10 and 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, 10 and 7.
10 and 7, winning the division.
10 and 7, and to compare it to your pre-Baker predictions, you were 8 and 9.
Okay, 2-game difference with Baker.
So we're just picking all the rest.
Just go throughout the rest of it. I'll give it to you. Baltimore.
I think that's an L.
Okay. Denver.
In Bank of America.
God, that's tough.
New look. Russell Wilson. Great receiving core. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton.
Yeah.
Sutton, something like that.
I'll say that's an L.
New coach too, though.
All right, Seattle.
W.
All right, Pittsburgh.
L.
All right, Detroit.
W.
Tampa Bay.
L.
And New Orleans.
Fuck,
Fighting
I go
for
W.
W. All right, so that puts you at
11.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 wins and 7 losses.
Oh, 10-7.
You know what? And
You
like,
were
I
11
think,
and 6 pre-Baker.
I honestly think that is.
We got worse with Baker. And it's not.
I think
Cody did,
that's best case scenario.
Okay.
I mean, I really don't. I think that's best case scenario.
So just to clarify, you thought that a combination of Matt Corral and Sam Darnold about 2 months ago was going to be better than what we have with Baker right now.
You got to keep in mind
based on record.
That's not just about Baker. That's also you got to think about what these other teams have done to.
Fair
I guess,
point. A lot has
themselves
changed.
better.
Right.
Yeah, like it's not just our team that's gotten better. Like Seattle has gotten better. I mean, not Seattle, but Denver.
Oh yeah.
Denver. Yeah.
Horrible.
Like I think we all thought Denver was an easy win for us.
Yeah.
All right, CK.
What you got, CK? Baltimore.
I think I've got Baltimore. I'm getting the dub there. So win against Baltimore. I think we win against Denver, even though that is going to be a tougher scenario. I think Seattle easy. I'm not going to say easy win because I don't think there's any easy wins in this league, but I think Seattle is.
You're running off 4 in a row: Falcons, Ravens, Broncos, Seahawks. Boom.
Yeah, and then let's see, we're going all the way to the Lions, right?
No, it's Pittsburgh.
Nah,
first.
keep going all the way to the end. Pittsburgh's next.
To the very end.
Okay, to the very end. Okay.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh. I think we win. I know I sound super optimistic here, but I could see this being the
6-game winning streak we're going on.
Right. And so I think we win there. Mainly again because I just too many question marks at the quarterback position there. Detroit Lions. That might be an upset. I'm going to say they're going to upset us. Detroit's a team to watch, so I think we lose to the Detroit Lions at home. And the Bucks, again, I can't say that we're going to beat them, but we beat the Saints for sure.
Okay, that puts you at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 wins and 6 losses. So CK a little more optimistic, and you were at 10-7 before Baker. So you're just right there where you were.
Where was that? Where's my number at now?
You were at 10-7 before Baker. You're 11-6 right now.
Okay,
that's what you just predicted. So you're right about where you were. So, I'm gonna go. Baltimore's gonna be a win. Or excuse me, Baltimore is the week after the bye, correct?
No. Baltimore is
2 weeks before the bye.
Yeah,
Seattle's after the bye.
Seattle's after the bye. Okay, then I'll go win Baltimore, win Denver. Let me change that. Let me change that to Denver because that's going to be a tough game. So I'll go lost Denver. Win Seattle after the bye. Win Pittsburgh. I think we went out to the bye.
Win out?
Win out after the bye.
Holy shit. What does that put you at? 11?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Wow, 13. Okay, 13-4. Yeah.
Holy shit.
How is Greg the most optimistic out of everyone?
Hey man, high hopes. I guess I don't know. I'd rather die like a lion than live like a pussy. I guess
sweeping the Falcons.
Yeah.
I wonder what Kenny Pickett starting against the Carolina Panthers in that Pittsburgh game is going to mean. Interesting stuff. Oh man, we're really high on the Carolina Panthers right now. Everybody, the lowest. What was the lowest win?
Lowest
total?
is 10-7.
10-7,
doubling last year. Matt Rule's total wins.
I'm the old curmudgeon. That fits.
You can't say 10 wins and be a curmudgeon. That's like
10 wins is playoffs.
Like 10 wins is winning the division, arguably.
Well, I just think that like I don't know, like to me 10 wins is the perfect acceptable number. Anything below double digit victories is a failure to me because I don't think it's gonna be enough. I mean,
Right.
I know they updated the playoff spots too, but that's why I said I really like my prediction. I think 10-7, that's a best case scenario. And I
That
think
could still be a
that's
wild card too. I mean, you might not win.
Yeah.
You know, that doesn't guarantee you win in the division.
No, not at all.
By the way,
So
shout out to our man Mike, the Supreme Leader, with the 499. Says this season will ride on Rule and Baker. Put Baker on top
Because I'm a
because
bottom,
I'm
baby.
on bottom. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
well done. I got to go back to it. I told you I'm addicted to this already. Real quick,
Let's do it. Yeah, do
they
it.
have season totals. This is awesome right here. You can do passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, passing touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, receiving touchdowns, interceptions. Ooh, who's going to throw the most interceptions this season? They have the more or less for Baker at 13.5. That's interesting. Will he throw more than 13 picks? Look at this. They got 300 passing yard games. Let's see what Baker, how many 300-yard passing games do they even have Baker on this list? Ooh, they don't
Nope.
even. No, they don't. So that's not an option from that. Ooh, let's see who sacks. Ooh, let's see if Brian Burns more than 9.75 sacks. Brian Burns, that's an interesting number there. Look at this, Cody. It's like this is really what I would be interested in. This number for your boy Justin Herbert is incredibly high.
I don't think so.
4,700 yards passing.
I think Justin Herbert is the fucking man, dude. And it pisses me off every day that the Panthers only missed on him by one draft pick because I am certain that Marty Herney was in love with him. And if we would have done that, I would have never said another bad word about Marty Herney for the rest of my life, dude. I do not think that number is too big. And they got Keenan Allen, and they got Mike Williams, and they got Austin Eckler, who's a good pass catcher. I think that's a good number, man.
Will DJ Moore have more or less than 3.5 100 receiving yard? I actually want to get in on one of these. I feel like I'm really. You think he's going to have?
He had 1,200 yards last year. That averages. I mean, he's got to have more than that's an average of like 75 yards a game,
right? Yeah,
Huh?
I mean 3. That's a lot. I think I'm going here. I want to do this. What do you think the interceptions for Baker is? Over
13.5. Dude, that's the biggest question to our team right now. Because it's like, is Baker a guy that when he's in an offense that fits him, he can run it correctly? Or is he just this wild gunslinger who makes bad decisions in the fourth quarter? Because you can make the case for either of those things. He does not have a good record when throwing interceptions late in the game. Ever since 2018, no quarterback in the NFL has more interceptions than Baker Mayfield. We obviously hope he turns this around. But I don't know, man. It might not be the wrong move to pick more. I don't know. We'll have to see.
This is crazy, man. You could get lost.
How could you pick any of this right now? Like, there's just
for the
so
season.
much
No, I
unknown.
mean, like it's like kind of like if you were going to try to figure out like who's just going to be the passing leader. Like right now, I mean, I think this is. I mean, you're just like any injury hits one of these guys. I feel like 4,700 yards is a lot. I mean,
So
that's a
when-
lot.
It's like if you were to pick this right now, there's like a whole year payoff. Like what? You would pick 4 for the year?
Say you did
And then-
this. Say we did Herbert. It's like the same thing. Say we did, I would say less here. That's what I would do. And I would do something like this. I would do Baker. You know what I like? I mean, you guys aren't going to like this, but I'm saying DJ on the less.
What is the stat?
And it's just the same thing. It's the same thing.
Less
It's
than
just
3 games of 100 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he has to have 4 100-yard receiving games. You do that, you get $20, gets you 16 on that entry. Or I like, I mean, really, I think it'd be another one would be interested is passing. Ooh, let's see what Baker's passing touchdowns is. See ya.
22. Wow, that's kind of a low one.
You could beat
that. You know, I mean, they're really thinking he's going to be like a 23 touchdown, 13 interception guy. And I wonder what his best season with the Browns was.
In 2018, when he was drafted, he set the record for the most amount of touchdowns thrown. I believe it was 34 or 35. That was the most he's ever thrown. And then in 2020, which is the year that everybody hopes that we get from Baker, I think he threw somewhere around that, like 22, 23 touchdowns. I think he only threw 8 interceptions. So that year in 2020, he didn't turn the ball over a lot. I don't know.
2020, it looks like he had 26 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. His
3-to-1 ratio is pretty good.
Yeah, he was 27-14 his rookie year, 22-21 his second year, 26-8, 17-13 last year. Man, these numbers will make you think. Will he have one of those games that he just gets destroyed?
But you see what I mean? How you can find every narrative about Baker Mayfield that you want. You know what I'm saying? You can cherry pick all the good numbers and good stats about what he's capable of when he's healthy, but you can find all the bad ones too.
Oh yeah.
So
DJ and Tyreek are forecast to have the same amount of 100-yard games. That's pretty awesome. DJ getting some love up here.
By the way, there's no way that's true if he's still playing with Kansas. If he's still playing with the Chiefs and not Tua, then
he's got way more than 400.
Yeah, that number is different.
Yeah, for sure.
So
shout out to Prize Picks.
You want to hear this one? This is crazy. If you want to make a decision on one of these, Von Miller's rated at 3 tackles. I think
for what? In the game?
For the game. Yeah, I think
Thursday?
For Thursday's game, he's rated at 3 tackles. I think for a primetime game, first game of the season, I think that one's a pretty safe bet.
Against the team he just came from?
Yeah. No, yeah.
And it's not sacks, it's just tackles.
It's just tackles or assists. So it's tackles plus assists. So it could be 2 tackles and 2 assists.
Prize Picks, baby.
That's a good one to take right there.
Prize Picks.
Hey, use the promo code C3. Let them know.
I just used it.
C3.
Yep.
I would still be this hype about it even if they weren't sponsoring us. Like it's
Prize
that
Picks
much.
is really
I agree.
shit.
You found
this
something
really
new for me.
is a cool
it really is.
daily fantasy sports play. I also saw our boy Carl Van, longtime listener of the C3 Panthers podcast. He says, "How do I get one of these green handles?" You look for, if you're on an iPhone, sometimes it's hard to find on the iPhone from what I've heard, but you look for the join button on YouTube, and it's a way for you to become a C3 super fan. The join button gets you a super shout out from our boy CK and the Golden Pipes. It gets you these cool name tags, the loyalty badge, individual and custom emojis, and sometimes in surprised impromptu ways. This week, it got Sean Butler this hat right here, right? So I did. Since we went over 50 in today's show, I did a giveaway. I can't promise that we'll do them every week, but man, I'm telling you, like CK said, this is about us reinvesting in the podcast to continue to grow. We've hit so much momentum over the last year with the 4,000 subscribers. We're opening up new doors like this. We're getting sponsors. All the groundwork that we put in over the last 9 seasons, going in our 10th, is really starting to pay off, and it's paid off by this fantastic community that we've developed right here, to where 51 people become super fans just to show their support in 2 weeks that we unleashed this. I never could have seen this coming. Well, I want to thank you guys so much. And so you can continue to support the show by smashing the thumbs up button, subscribing, calling in at 252-228-5098, and supporting our sponsors. Prize Picks gets you the promo code 100 C3. The promo code C3 gets you a 100% deposit bonus. And we're going to be playing this throughout. We need y'all's help to make us some loot this year. Have some fun. You know football better than we do. So get in there and use that knowledge for good and make some loot at it. Next, Manscaped. Also, you can support us by going to Manscaped and buying a gift for a friend, your grandpa, yourself, or even just a t-shirt using the promo code Panthers. Supporting our sponsor supports the podcast. If we get enough sales in this first month, they will re-up for the entire season. So we appreciate your support. All great ways to be a part of it. Don't forget Sunday, the post-game show. Friday, the Friday free-for-all. And Cody has got his own Friday free-for-all prize pick account for you guys.
That's right. We're
So
not
y'all
even
get
done.
Yeah, y'all get to do whatever you want on Friday. We don't have to stop with those picks. We get to look for new defensive picks. You can go in there. Maybe you guys want to put an entry on a season-long pick. That would be something fun to look at. So all cool stuff. And finally, guys, we got to get up to the longest running segment on the longest running Panthers podcast, Ice
snap.
Up Picks, where we tell someone to ice up, toughen up, to get it together. It's our homage to Steve Smith, the greatest shit talker in the history of football. And right now, there's a lot of supreme candidates for ice ups. Who wants to go first? My point is narrowing it down to more than 10 or less than 10 for me.
Well, yeah, it's hard. But first, before we do,
Ice up, son. Ice up, son.
Yeah.
Where was Steve Smith's voice?
I don't know. I got to go back and check that. I may have sent you the wrong file if it was no voice.
I thought I heard
you know
him
what?
on the
No. You know what?
Ice up, son. Ice up.
There we
I forgot.
go.
I sent you all the
There we
files.
I played the wrong.
Yeah.
Delete that other one. Delete that.
Yeah,
other
I know.
one.
I got a few in here that I need to delete that are throwing me off. But yeah, who wants to go first?
Mine's real quick. I'll just knock it out. I've been out of internet for the last week. I've had Spectrum come by here 3 times, and it took them forever to actually get me internet back on again. But I have it back on now. If you've been without internet for that long, it sounds kind of crazy. It sounds kind of like a first world problem, but it is really, really in the world we live in. It's very difficult, especially with things I do, to be out the internet for a week. But three technicians, they finally got it done, and then I had them credit me a half a month for being out for a week. So, but to them, just for taking so long to fix it, eyes up.
Yeah, and by the way, people are talking about this in the chat. If you do have an iPhone and that join button doesn't show up, basically you have to open up Google Chrome or some other browser, go to our webpage on YouTube, but go into the URL, and where it has m.mobile version, you basically erase that and just go to the normal HTML website on Google Chrome in your iPhone browser, and you'll be able to see that join button, and you'll be able to join us from there. Speaking of which, before we go forward, CK, why don't you welcome this awesome Panther fan?
One more person has decided to join the C3 Superfan Club. Welcome to the club, Richard Gonzalez. Also, be sure to go to our new sponsors.
Yeah.
So much.
Appreciate you, Richard.
I tell you, this is the prize pick's going to sell itself, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
That one just sells itself.
Already got my
dude.
money.
I might sit in here like, good God, I don't know what I'm like. Keep playing all night. Thank you, Richard Gonzalez, for your support. All right, so Look, first is that it's a utility now, man. The internet is so important to our daily lives that it's a utility. We can't I know it sounds like a first world problem, but welcome back to civilization, Greg.
Thank you. Yes, it's great.
All
for
right.
sure.
I got a couple of ice up picks. All right. First one, my ice up pick, I'm gonna go with. Let me see if I make sure I got all of this. Too many windows, too much. Don't worry. When I get this new computer, my new monitor coming in, it's all gonna be good. Then I can have multiple screens up. And first of all, this big guy, I'm getting iced up for getting his ass whooped by this old guy. Look like John Gruden beating him up.
That's what I thought, dude.
Look, I mean, this big guy got nothing, man. He has work. So ice up to you.
Dude, they're drunk as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look at this slap.
If he would have connected with a punch right there, he'd have been out.
Oh, I know. He would have been night, dude.
Yeah.
Also, this ride in India. Holy cow, look at this. You seen this? Is it still sharing?
No, I don't see
anything. Hold on. Oh.
Nope. I've got 2 ice ups also. That would be fun.
Well, take one for me because mine.
Huh?
But you go ahead and take my spot then because I didn't grab one tonight.
Look at this ride. This is a ride in India. Makes you never want to go on a fair ride.
Oh, dude, fuck that.
I know.
Broken tailbones, anybody?
And then my last ice up is going to go to, and I haven't watched the entire speech or whatever or anything like this, but the Joe Biden speech with the dark red background.
Oh yeah, when he straight up looks like the villain in a Star Wars film.
Yeah. I'm going to ice up on this one because I think right now you're they came out and they called the MAGA people the threat to democracy, and really are coming after them hard. Much like kind of maybe some Republicans did with that other and QAnon or whatever that group is for the crazy liberals. But look, I'm gonna hit this up because people got upset when we iced up Trump and things like this. And so this is a fair and balanced podcast. I'm icing up Joe Biden because this type of rhetoric, I think, is actually playing into the hands of a midterm election that is going to motivate a lot of people to come out and be supporters of the other party for him. Mm-hmm. So I feel like you're giving, it's kind of like bulletin board material. If you're upset with Baker Mayfield for saying F this, it's bulletin board material for a lot of people who are probably going to be active or who would miss a midterm election because they don't really care about those types of elections. Right? Is that we know that historically midterm elections have low voter turnout. I think that all of a sudden, I think this was a bad play by the Democrats and a bad play by Joe Biden. So I'm going to ice up all three of those. Big guy getting beat up by old guy, fair rides in India that smashed to the ground, and Biden bulletin board material for the evil empire. Ice up.
Absolutely, ice up. And by the way, Promise Panda, he's got it right. Politics are designed to divide the masses. Prove me wrong. Instead of trying to get people on your side, they want you to fear them and to hate them. Oh, these people are a danger and a threat to our democracy. Your next door neighbors. So no, don't try and find common ground with people. Don't try and sway them with better thoughts and ideas. No, just call them the enemy and the danger to democracy.
It's so dangerous for this rhetoric from your president, dude.
Sure. And isn't it so hypocritical? These are the same people that called Trump and the Republicans the most evil, divisive people ever. And hey, that's fine. I don't like them either. But then don't go and do the same exact shit and then pretend like you're not perpetuating the same problem. Promise Panda, you are 1,000% correct. My ice up. So I have two. And I saw I think it was Easy in the chat talking about this. Clemson played last night. My Clemson Tigers got a big W, by the way. It wasn't the prettiest W, but it was a W no less, right? But apparently there was a fight in the stands. This Clemson fan is like a 22-year-old frat guy, and then the dude he's fighting is like honestly a 15-year-old kid. And well, let's just say it didn't go well for the older dude.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, he hit his ass.
I love the background comments.
He dropped his ass. Go. Oh, let's go. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, get him, kid. Oh, look, he didn't know.
I didn't know we were fighting. Stop. Somebody said start.
But he's drunk as fuck.
That little kid came back and got him, dude.
Good for that kid.
Bro, he was pissed. Yo, he was throwing some haymakers, dude. Yeah, man, hey, when you're getting drunk, don't talk shit to 15-year-olds that might be able to kick your ass, dude. Not a good move. Now, normally, Tony is the one that shares the clips of people's near death, but I might have to rival him tonight. And I don't know what the ultimate. I don't know what happened to this woman, but I think it's hilarious. And I saw it, and as soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's an ice up pick. How about this? If you're gonna take an escalator, make sure that you don't drop your luggage down the escalator while you're not holding the shit, because then this could happen.
Nope.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
One more time. So look, what is she even doing? She just puts it down and lets it go. The woman sees it.
Oh,
dude.
that her head hit so hard.
Oh, so hard, dude.
I know this is a different. It looks like a
God,
different
dude.
country, but I've never seen an escalator that starts off like that. It's like a hill. Like, go to the beginning of it. It looks like where you would put your luggage at an airport. The
Yeah.
track, like, to be honest with you, that's what that looks like. It does not look like an escalator to me. Not trying to
I
defend
know.
the
It looks
person
like
who
it's
put that on there,
about
but
to
it's
slide.
just weird.
Well,
You
guess
know?
what? It was a slide for that luggage right there. And
Yeah, it
almost
was.
Good
I've never
God.
seen one like that though. That's crazy.
But look how fast it goes. It's like
Look
a
at her
missile.
though. Look at her reaction though. She was
Oh.
on it, man. If she would have just stepped on
Jumped right at the right time, you know?
Yeah. she
Every
would've had
time
it.
you do that, like I look at, oh my god,
Do
dude.
you press charges against this lady?
Yes.
I have no idea. I mean, I would
mean,
for sure.
it's an
Look-
accident.
I probably would.
I mean, clearly she didn't do it on purpose, but
They put her on
Man.
a stretcher. So
She hit the head pretty hard.
yeah,
No way.
be careful if you have luggage at the top of an escalator, man, because you might fuck around and kill somebody. Ice up, son.
I do want to
find
ice
these
up my
videos?
ECU Pirates for squandering a great opportunity to beat NC State, the 13th ranked team in the nation. Man, right at the end, opportunity to win to bang home a game-winning field goal. Lost 21-20 after. Man, our defense, the game was so awesome, dude. Great. There's no moral victories. I'm not like celebrating this, but man, the Pirates played their hearts out, dude. It just stinks. It was there for the taking. Stinks, man. So I need my Panthers to make it up to me. So that's the C3 Panthers podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, brought to you by Prize Picks, brought to you by Manscaped, brought to you by the greatest fans on all of YouTube. Man, fantastic stuff out there. Lots of stuff to be watching on the interwebs, isn't there, Greg? I mean, I'm trying to catch up. I got to get on this Lord of Rings, Power of the Rings show. I got to get on that. I'm trying to power through the last bit of Game of Thrones to get on that House of Dragon joint. It's just a lot to keep up with, but there's a way you can keep up with it, and it's on your podcast.
Yeah, check it out. It's like I do a podcast live on Friday nights, Eastern Standard Time. It's Geeks Chasing Squirrels Across the Multiverse. And right now we're covering House of the Dragon, Rings of Power, Lower Decks, and She-Hulk. But we continually cover new shows and movies as they come out. We take fan suggestions, but mainly anything that's kind of in our genre or anything that we kind of feel like watching right then we keep up with. But we got some pretty good stuff that we cover on there. The Boys and anything DC, anything Marvel, anything fantasy. We have creators come on there, so it's pretty fun. If you want to read some new comic books from creators you haven't heard of yet, find some Kickstarters. But yeah, live every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's Geeks Chasing Squirrels Across the Multiverse, and you catch it on any podcatcher of your choice.
So. CK, where can they get after you?
You can find me on most social media platforms. Dizzle Allen, Twitter, TikTok, the Facebooks, all those places. And obviously here, and we're going to try to figure out logistics, so keep your eyes out. We're going to do continue this at Madden simulation, except for this time, instead of doing one where it's just the highlights, we're going to just watch the entire game and do it live stream with you guys, so as to be able to basically watch the game in the middle of the week. That has no real impact on real world circumstances.
Fantastic stuff. And Cody Lashney, my wheelman.
You can find me in the club, body full of bub, my mind got but no, I'm playing. So you can find me on Twitter at Cody Lack, CODYLAC. You can find all my written content on drafttech.com, where I'm the analyst for the Carolina Panthers. Check that out. I've been on every Friday with Greg on Geeks Chasing Squirrels because I'm addicted to all things The Song of Ice and Fire. It's the best fantasy story that there is, and I'll straight up fight anyone who disagrees.
It's a good one. Can't call it the best, but it's a good one.
How about this? Some people are asking about the content coming forward here. Check this out, guys. We got the Tuesday night show. We got the Friday free for all that is sticking around. We've got the Sunday post game, but we're also trying our best to bring you as many beat checks and debate my takes throughout this season as we can. We'll probably launch Debate My Take next week in our first episode after week 1 when we get a little data that we can debate. But I just got an email from my buddy Cam, who runs the Believe podcast network, and he said, look, I got former Browns running back Eric Metcalf hosting of the Believe in Browns podcast. You guys want to catch up? So I think tomorrow I'm going to try to nail down the time for tomorrow night for a beat check with Eric Metcalf, and if we can't nail it down for tomorrow night, maybe we can line it up for Thursday. So like CK saying, we've got some cool content coming out about from Madden to fans, man. Is like, you just better just hit that subscribe, that notification bell, and you're going to hear it go bing, 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 bing as we continue to blow up this season, what I know is going to be our best season as the C3 Panthers podcast going forward, man. And I could not think of a better group to do it than the guys right here and the people in the chat, the people listening on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever you get your podcast. Go ahead, just leave a review wherever you are. Tell a friend, be a friend, tell a friend type thing, as Pat McAfee says. Anything you can to do, from the smallest thing, smashing the thumbs up button, to shouting us out on Twitter. All those things continue to help us grow the greatest Panther community that we can up here. And it's because of you guys. Cody Lack, take us out here.
Panther Nation, until next time, you already know what it is, baby. Keep pounding.